house.
All right, we're live. Yes.
Shoot
Not really
that.
live. It's like pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But you know what the fuck it is. CHARLAR podcast viewers, the tens of viewers.
In this bitch. In this.
Got special guest, JD Mckenna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I came out as gay today on stage.
Nah, dude, I think that tagline, I think that worked way better than the previous one.
Yeah. The previous one worked really well in half the rooms.
I think girls got offended by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like girls who don't know me also.
Yeah.
Girls who did know me are like, oh, I know him. Like, it's not... Like obviously he doesn't think his friend is really ugly. But, yeah, for someone who doesn't know me, they're like, what the fuck? Like, it's incredibly mean. It's like, that's the joke. I don't...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like tonight when I was on stage and I was talking about the ghosts, and I was like, the ghosts were like burning crosses and shit. I felt like people get tense. I was like, okay, I should probably get off this topic. But then I thought, looking back on it, I should have doubled down on it. I should have been like, these fucking ghosts were fucking burning crosses, riding horses around and shit.
They're a fan of the Old South.
Yeah. Now they're doing ghost tours. Going on tour now.
Where do they do that shit?
Apparently in the Springer.
Just all the time?
It's a new thing.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, Springer's super haunted. I had no idea. Like, I didn't. I just found out today.
Yeah.
But like, some guy was telling me I was waiting in line. He was like, "Yeah, apparently people have died in the Springer
Oh.
and stuff." And
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln died in the Springer Opera House. Yeah, but they just moved into Ford Theater with half.
Yeah.
John Wilkes Booth finished the job.
Do you believe in hauntings?
I don't know if I believe in hauntings. Like, it's funny because I was talking to the guy in line. It was him and his wife, and he was like, "Yeah, me and my wife are big on like haunted stuff. Like, we used to go to graveyards when we were young,
Yeah.
and try to find ghosts." Like, I was like, "Did you guys ever find a ghost?" They're like, "No." I was like, how long you guys been doing this? For like 10 years. Or
Holy shit.
you guys never saw a ghost in 10 years, and you're still going on ghost tours?
That's what.
At what point are you like, this shit is bullshit?
Yeah. I also feel like whenever people do it that long, like I'm not saying they don't necessarily do, because like I mean I don't really like believe in it, but like I feel like most people I talk to that have done it that long have convinced themselves. Like, they don't normally go, I've never seen it. They normally are like, this spooky, you know what I mean? And it normally snowballs over time, like to where they believe they're like, it goes from like, I heard a noise to like a couple years later they're like, there was a guy, there was a fucking
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video of a guy that's like a cryptologist who like studies like urban myths and stuff. And
Yeah.
he said he began as a ghost hunter, and he said he never found a single evidence for a single ghost.
Oh shit.
Um,
It's cool that he was honest.
yeah, I mean, I fuck with it. Like, and also it's like, why did my counselor tell me that was a job?
Yeah.
Like, you tell me I could just look for a ghost, I'll make money. Dude had an office. I mean, that's expensive, I think.
Have you there's this YouTube like documentary I was watching. Like, I watch a lot of those at work now because I can just have my headphones in, and it's about this box that's like apparently haunted, and like whenever people have it in their house, like the past, like people have owned it, like get really sick, and like they get like fucking scabs and shit in their skin. They're like, you know, it's horrible, and they sold it. Like, this guy was selling it on eBay, like the final owner, and sold it to this guy who owns in like Las Vegas like a whole array of like cursed items. And then like later on they interviewed the guy, and he was like, I made all that shit up. And then the guy who owns it like, no bro, like we felt it, like people at my place work there, they felt it, like. And the guy's like, no, I fucking
Gotta be like placebo.
Yes,
Like,
dude.
you're just convinced that shit's haunted, so you start feeling a shit on your shoulder or whatever.
Well, he's definitely trying to like make the fact that he spent $600,000 on this shit not dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I remember like I used to watch, I think it was like True TV or something on TV, and they had like a segment on like something called the Robert doll.
yeah,
Like this haunted doll. And I remember like they're interviewing the guy that used to own the doll. And it was so I kept cracking up because because the doll was called Robert. Every time he said Robert, he would raise his eyebrows and widen his eyes. Like it was so fucking funny because he'd be like, "Yeah, something fell," and I was like, "Robert." He would emphasize Robert so much. Like, nah, bro, you're trying to sell me this shit. Get the fuck out of here. Take fucking video evidence of that motherfucker doing shit, and then maybe I'll be like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. I that shit used to freak me out as a kid. Like
Oh yeah.
I remember we like when I was in daycare, we were watching Goosebumps. We were watching like the Night of the Living Dummy, like Slappy the Dummy and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember I cried because one of the kids told me that they could like hear me through the TV. And I remember I was bawling my eyes out, dude.
That's actually scary though.
It was horrifying.
Kid.
Yeah.
I think I've told this story on the pod before, but when I was a kid in Nicaragua, there's a thing called the Caretanagua, which is like apparently it's like the souls of like old colonial invaders.
Yeah.
That would come, that they would like ride this wagon and kill people, like Native Americans or whatever. And now like the spirit of the wagon still rolls on, and like the wagon's made out of bones and skulls or whatever. And so you could hear it at night. It like come out like 3 a.m, and it'd make like a clanking kind of wheel sound.
Yeah.
And I remember me and my cousins were up at like, I didn't even know how late, but we knew it was way too late. And then we heard this clanking outside, like a clink, a clink, a clink, a clink, and we're like, ah! And then we're like shitting ourselves. So I go wake up my older cousin. He was like maybe in his 20s. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to freak you out. But the fucking Caretanagua was outside right now, dude. And because the myth is if you look at it, you'll die, and then your bones will become part of the wagon.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so we're all hiding from the windows to not see it. And my cousin was like, I'm going to go look at it. And I was like, please, dude. Please, bro, just not look at this. And I was like, I'm about to start crying. I was like, dude, look, I'll do anything. I was like grabbing a shirt and shit.
Yeah.
And then he goes, the window was like high up. So he kind of goes like on his tippy toes, appears at the window, he starts busting out laughing. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, go look. And I was like, no, dude, I'm fucking looking. Like, just go look. And he lifted me up, and I saw, and it was like a guy with like a corn cart, and he had a flat tire.
Oh, shit.
He was like pushing his cart, and it had a flat tire with its clanking sound. And I was there fucking shitting my pussy out.
That shit was fun though. It was fun to believe in that shit. Like I feel like now that I don't believe in shit, life kind of, I don't know. Like I remember believing in Slender Man and shit. You know,
yeah.
That was really cool.
I used to believe in that shit too.
Yeah.
I feel scared. Like, yeah, now I don't believe in anything. And now you're
like the fuck,
empty. Like I have no fear in my soul anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, actually, I was never scared of God, but like I was scared of being bad to go to hell or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that was scary. But now I'm like, I don't know about all that. And which I think, remember, I saw some YouTube guy talking about it, like how like heaven and hell are probably a metaphor for real life. How like, you follow the Bible, your life will be ideal.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, you break all the rules, people will kind of hate you, and your life is hell. It's funny because I was just picturing that today, like, so my sister's leaving with her boyfriend. They have a rocky relationship. She was debating going without him, and she has a little dog named Benito, really sweet dog. I just picture like the worst case scenario, like now Benito's like a shithead. He like barks at everyone and stuff.
Yeah.
My sister becomes a bitch. And I'm like, damn, that's what they're talking about. Like, your life would be hell.
Yeah.
Or like and it affects everyone around you. That's just weird. Yeah, I think people don't consider that like the shit you do affects everyone around you. I've noticed because like when I started being more, I guess like confident and trying to be more myself, I only found good things happened. And it's funny because my biggest fear was that bad things would happen if I was like trying to be, I guess, what I would consider more myself. Because my biggest fear was always being seen as a weirdo.
I feel you.
Weird, because I was a weird kid in school. Like I was probably considered one of the weird kids.
I was definitely that way for a long time. I remember I definitely had a personal, like, I don't know, fight towards the end of high school too, where like I almost had like a, I would say my junior year of high school, like the first 2 years. I remember my junior year of high school. I was like, I don't want to be the weird kid anymore, and I was almost like fake as shit all of junior year. Like I almost tried my best to be normal, and then senior year, I was like, dude, fuck, this is. Senior year is when I like busted out. I was like, you know what, this cringe, like anything somebody finds cringe or like weird. I was like, it's almost like it is freeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because for me it was like a little bit more like I feel like the real me was actually more normal than what I was portraying.
Yes.
I noticed I would get a reaction out of people being really weird and crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I should just be weird and crazy then.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, actually, I feel like I'm actually a chill dude. I'm just gonna be a chill dude. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I was always doing too much all the time.
Mm.
And I think it's working out a little bit, maybe.
I think so. I think people. I mean, it's not an original thought, but I do think people are attracted to like people just being themselves. I feel like whether or not they can put their finger on it, it's easy to track. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think like whenever I hang out with people nowadays, I've noticed like I think women are a lot more fake than men. But I think because women have more of like a social pressure.
Yeah.
Which I think that kind of stems from. I saw this really cool documentary on YouTube. I don't know if you ever read the book Lord of the Flies, but it's basically the premise of the thing. Because in Lord of the Flies, a plane crashes with like a boys' choir, and so there's a bunch of these boys all under the age of 12, I think, and they're stranded on this island, and then it kind of and it's kind of how their social structure kind of forms and divulged. It was written by a third grade teacher.
Oh shit! Okay.
Male teacher, and it's all like a metaphor for war, I think, because in the end of the book, they get rescued by like Navy guys. This is like during World War II.
Oh, okay.
And like they see how savage the kids have become, and then you kind of just look back at the war that they're fighting, and it's like, well, I think we're still these kids being savage.
Yes.
And so, but the documentary premise was like it's like 8 boys or maybe more, like 12, all under the age of 12, and they're just left alone to their own vices in a house with like all the supplies they need to like live on their own, and immediately start trashing the place.
Yeah.
And then all the strongest boys become the leader, basically, through force.
Yeah.
They start fighting. Like, the weirder kids become estranged and isolated. And then they did the same experiment with girls. And it's funny because the girls started working together. They immediately start cleaning. They all work together to cook.
Yeah.
They all work together. But the way that they show that their aggression was through social punishment.
Yes.
Like, because like one of the girls didn't like one of the other girls for whatever reason. Like she used her colors or something. And so what she did, she poured water on her bed and blamed it on another girl.
Oh shit.
They shunned that girl. And so, like, but the guys would just like put you in an arm lock, and that's how you know he's the top. But the girls, it was more like all the aggression was social. It seemed it wasn't physical, like with the boys.
I've seen that with it's really interesting. Talking to people who like we know there's a big culture with, especially like because like I live in Auburn, and there's the whole frat and sorority culture.
Yeah.
Whenever I've heard the difference from people with like the hazing process, like a lot of guys, their hazing process is like drink this entire bottle of vodka and fucking do some like it's like a lot of it's like humiliating, but it's like I don't know, like more dumb shit. And like women, I remember hearing this one girl talk to me about the hazing process. They like made her go down to her like fucking bra and panties and sit on a dryer and turn it on, and they would circle what like basically like moved, and told her like she had to lose that. I'm like, that.
My God.
That is like
brutal.
Horrible. I was like, dude, I always thought frats were so like insane, and then I heard that and I was like, that's. It's wild because like guy like with frats, it's almost like coming from like what would be what's the part
How much cum can you eat?
yeah still fucked up, but like but like with women I'm like, oh my, that's soul crushing.
Logical. It's mental with them. Like it's so crazy because like I've met a lot of like crazy women who are like crazy in like the mind games they try to play with people.
Yeah,
and it's like that's like almost more brutal than just getting your ass beat.
Yes.
Like
I'd rather get my ass beat sometimes, honestly, dude. Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. And it's funny because most guys that are like really rugged, by the time they're old, they're like actually super chill because like they kind of see how like dangerous violence is.
Yes.
And they're kind of like, yeah, I don't want to fight people because like I almost killed a guy or something, or I almost saw a guy get killed. But women, they're like, I'm on top and that bitch is in the bottom. Like,
yeah.
Shit. But I think generally girls are nicer. I think.
Oh yeah.
Because Because I've noticed, I think actually right now the world has become more feminine, like feminine dominated.
Mm,
We're more surrounded around making other people feel accepted.
yes,
I think that's been the shift because, like, because I think right wing is like hyper masculinity,
it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like where it's like toxic,
yeah.
and they're like, I'm just gonna strong arm you. And then I guess more in modern times, it's kind of the end of the extreme where it's like now we're hyper aware of how to make people feel inclusive. But
Yes.
in the process, they're actually kind of excluding certain people in a way. I don't know if they're exactly excluding them, but they punish you for breaking social norms,
Yeah.
which I think is good overall. Because I've heard Bo Burnham say how like he'd rather do a crowd, he'd rather like do a crowd that's kind of irony deaf than a crowd that's like cheering for something that's like that they shouldn't be for.
Yes.
When he's like joking about something racial or something.
Yes.
They're cheering like, yeah, fuck minorities or whatever. And it's like, that's, come on, man. Like,
I had that. Yeah, I've had that before. I remember, my whole MLK Robert E. Lee bit
Yeah.
I used to do, and I would talk about how my school we used to celebrate. Well, I don't know about we, but like,
all of those.
yeah, but
Like community.
yeah, growing up in Alabama, like the school would recognize it as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, as Martin Luther King Jr. / Robert E. Lee Day, and I'd say that to certain crowds, and they almost were like too excited about that aspect,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not like I'm saying this as like I could tell the tone of the laugh. Like some people would laugh as in that's ridiculous, and some would laugh and be like, hey, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, no.
Dude, yeah, I don't like that shit either. Which luckily I don't have a lot of jokes where it's like people can really laugh at it the wrong way. Because a lot of my jokes are really just ridiculous. Like they don't really make much. They don't have a lot of reason behind them.
Yeah,
Because that's kind of what I like. I like to kind of point out, I guess, like the absurdity, mostly in the words that we use. Because like how the bit of like pregnant women in labor, and it's like why do they want to work so damn hard?
yeah.
Like I like the vein. I like those kinds of bits because it's hard to make them problematic. So when I started out, I'd always be really edgy.
Yeah.
I think I still, even at No Shame, still have like a reputation of being edgy.
Mm.
Even though I haven't done that in like 2 years. But like that really sticks with you.
Do you
I've gotten strikes at No Shame too. I think I have like one more strike before I get banned.
really?
Yeah.
Out of 3?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Do you think he'll get it?
I don't think I'll get it. It's funny because
They tell you have a strike, right?
yeah, they'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I think I only have one, but some people were saying that they think I have 2 or something.
Yeah. No Shame's really interesting. I love No Shame, but I think No Shame's like a good example, like how we were talking about with like society and like calling people on their bullshit. Like I think that there's been. I think that as a whole in society, it is good to call people on their bullshit, right? But and like so, comedy is hard because
Yeah.
like when a lot of people hear that we do comedy, there's a lot like the loudest voices that are like big in comedy love being like it's free speech. I can fucking do whatever. It's the last bastion of like I can say whatever I want, and I hate that. I've talked about it before. I hate that. I think the first goal should be to get people to laugh. Like that's why I should be in comedy. But like I think sometimes like you talking about like today with the go. So like I feel like all of us kind of have jokes that like teeter on the edge, but like I think a lot of it is an obvious like it's I'm saying this because it's so ridiculous, but I feel like that gets lumped in sometimes with like I'm actually saying it. Like I feel like some people get caught in the crossfire of like making fun of those groups and they get looked at as like being a part of those groups, and I've seen that happen before at like places like No Shame where I'm like, oh, but like there's deeper than that. Like they're obviously not that guy.
Yeah, because like the first strike I got was like because like my butt fucked to death bit.
Yes.
Originally was raped to death.
Yes.
That was like the bit, and it's like it's funny because the only way, just changing the word rape to butt fucked instantly made it fine.
Yes.
But I had to find that line, like because I knew it was a funny bit, but I just wished it wouldn't have given me a strike. Like come on, man, I'm working out material. Like I get that, that may have been offensive, which is funny because it killed even when I said rape to death.
Yeah.
But the hosts are scared of getting No Shame shut down.
Yeah.
Because it's been shut down before, because of the sex with me bit they did, where they said Jesus, sex with me is like Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, And then some guy was in the crowd who knew like the showrunners of No Shame, and they like got it shut down.
For how long?
It was shut down for like almost a year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because like whenever I started doing No Shame, it had just come out of being shut down.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, like your first time being there. Like, how was that? Like,
It was so much better back then because I started in 2019.
yeah,
Right before the pandemic hit. Like I started doing stand up maybe like 6 months right before the pandemic hit. I was at the last show at No Shame before I got shut down because of the pandemic. And back then, it was like almost all comedians would go up. People that I've never seen go up again anymore after the pandemic.
yeah,
And it was a lot more open. There was a lot more. I don't know. It was just a different vibe. Like it was a lot more. But then for a long time, No Shame tried to stray away from comedy for whatever reason. Like in their advertisement, they stopped putting comedy
oh okay.
in the thing.
Like you could do it, but they weren't like,
They weren't advertising it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
weren't advertising like, oh, you could watch comedy here, which I thought was weird because a lot of the people seem to be going for that reason.
yeah,
Yeah, poetry is fun, and then music is fun, but a lot of the people and it was super competitive. Like I remember, I had the first time I went, I wanted to sign up, but it was too late because it was full, and I got there early too, and yeah, it's just shifted a lot, which has always been, I think, political reasons. Like the hosts have always been very, they like to push their agenda
Yeah.
into the whole show. 'Cause
Yeah.
they had a host. The hosts that are there now weren't there back then, but the old host is probably worse because the first set I ever did, I called myself retarded.
yeah,
I did a set about the first time I ever smoked weed,
Mm.
and I said that I looked at my reflection in the back of a windshield, and I was like, "Holy shit, I look fucking retarded."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I got a big pop, but then the host was like, "Hey, you can't say that," and I was like, "Oh shit, sorry, my bad."
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
weird because and I never experienced that because it was my first time. And
Yeah.
that like cut the whole vibe off, and I was like, well, and then my first set I was cut short because that just threw me off like huge, like big time, and but it did well enough to where I was like, okay, I think this is something I can do.
Oh yeah, yeah. That word is like retarded is weird.
It is weird, especially right now.
Yeah, cause like I don't know, you know, you never know when to pull it out to a crowd. It can really pop, and then it can't. Like if used
Yeah.
correctly, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's funny too, cause I guess it doesn't matter if I talk about someone else's bit, like in a good way. Like Max's tardy bit.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like I love the bit, but he's caught flack for it. And then, but like me, I make a joke about stealing from a guy who's like retarded, but I don't say it. I say he has an extra stripe.
yeah.
But then but then people love it.
Yeah, that's what
And I'm like, I'm literally saying it. I'm saying it all. I came up with a new word, and so instead of saying retarded, I'm just saying, yeah, he's got 3 stripes. He's got an extra stripe.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and but that's how you maneuver around it because I think that's like the goal of the comedian is to like be able to convey the idea and have it be able to be digested by the crowd. Because like with my rape to death bit, the first time I ever did it, like half the room was dying laughing, and the other half was like, "What the fuck? Like this is fucked up."
Yeah.
But that wasn't my intention. Like I didn't want that, so I knew I wanted everyone laughing. So I had to change something. Because it's not like I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck you, yeah, I'm getting raped to death. Like,
Yeah.
like no, like and butt fucked. Even though it's the same exact thing, I'm getting butt fucked without my consent,
Yeah.
so I'm getting raped. But it's that word, like the word is just same with like retarded. Like it's funny because like Scott says is one of the guys that's retards the most like, that I've ever fucking met.
Yeah.
And he's a retarded brother.
Yeah.
And so like. That's what's always bugged me too, because people are like, "Well, you don't know what people have been through." I was like, "Well, you don't know what I've been through."
Yeah.
I mean, I could have got my cheeks clapped a few times.
Exactly.
You can't just say.
Could have got my.
Yeah, it's like so. If I could prove I got my cheeks clapped, now I could say that shit.
Yeah.
I think that's not fair to anyone. Like,
That has been odd to me. The whole I don't know. Like I agree with it in a lot of stances, and then with some of them I'm not saying I should say it. Like, I feel like I'm teetering on the I could say everything.
yeah, I mean it's tough because like I do think that we should be able to say everything. Like I actually think white people should be allowed to say the N-word in the right context.
Yeah.
Like I think they should be able to say it.
I talked about this the other day. We're diving in the N-word, dude. I was
White guys.
well, okay. I was saying this the other day, and like I don't like you. I don't think you should. I don't think as a white guy, even if you're like, you obviously shouldn't say with the R and even with the A. Like you shouldn't use it.
No.
For real. Like you shouldn't. But
Yeah.
I do. Sometimes it is annoying to be like the N word, and it's like, but can I in the context just refer to, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, like because
sometimes when you're talking to somebody, and you're like they said the F word, and you're like which I don't know, and you're like the gay one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel like it's worse than too. I'm like the one about the gay people.
Like the R word, the raper retard.
yeah. And I've always just thought like, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because,
but it's not a hill I'll die on, because I'm like, I'm not gonna die on the I need to say the N word, like, you know. Yeah. But I'm also like,
I love Linus Tech Tips. He's like a YouTuber, does like shit about like computers and all that. And he was like on a podcast, and they were talking about like the hard R or something. And Linus was like, yeah, I've used a hard R. I don't use it anymore. Like it's been like 5 years or whatever. And it's funny because he thought the hard R was retard. Like,
yeah.
Because you're like, no, that's the N word, right? Like hard R, that's retard. Like, yeah, I used to say it all the time. He was talking about how like he used to joke around with his friends with using the hard R.
Yeah.
Like he was thinking about the word retard.
That's hilarious.
But that's how you know he's a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
His mind didn't go towards like there's 2 N words actually.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, all the Hispanic kids say to the N word, and I would say the N word like with like all my black friends and stuff, and it wasn't an issue. It only became an issue when like I would hang out with people I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like oh shit, I guess actually this is bad.
Yeah.
I don't say it anymore because like it's for one, I don't hang out with that many black people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
and for 2, it's just I don't see a point. Like I don't need it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need it. But I still say it in my car alone when I'm rapping to music. I can't even lie.
I have.
Can't even lie. I like when I'm listening to fucking J. Cole or some shit, man.
Yeah.
Man, I say it.
Look around real quick. Looking around your car. Oh shit, my window's up.
I try to make a bit about it. I can never quite make it work. But it's like, how am I supposed to like? I can say it in the car, right? I have to listen to Chief Keef like a bitch. That's the shit I don't like. A snitch.
I think one of my favorite roasts anyone said to me one time. Travis said we were at Rock and Roll and they were doing the roast at the end of the show, and he said I look like the type of guy to say the N word, accidentally say the N word while rapping to a song and then apologizing to myself.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I just think it's weird that you can't say it even like in quoting someone. Like I'm not saying it. Like I'm singing a song.
Yeah.
And like I remember Kendrick Lamar had that big moment where like he brought like a fan on stage.
I remember. That was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It
was like a white bitch.
Yeah.
Saying the N-word.
White
like,
bitch.
Hold on. Pause. Like you brought her on. Yeah, I always thought that was weird. And it's like, so can we read Huckleberry Finn?
Well, that's what, like, I remember in class they almost like were really baiting you to say it, and like even then I'm like, I don't want. And they're like, but you can if you, and it's almost like, but it's also like you can't. It's like you can, but you can't.
It was like that when I was in high school too, because like the teacher was white, and she was saying it though, because she was like, look, you know, this is a book. I'm just reading you guys the book. She's like, but I'll let you guys read the book if you want. Of course, all the black kids were like saying that shit with extra emphasis.
Yeah.
They'd point to like a white girl, and she'd be like, like she would.
I remember I used to, when that would happen, I would read ahead, hoping like I was like, "There's no N-word good." I don't want it. I don't want to be in that moment, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's like Louis C.K. is a great bit about Huckleberry Finn, like the N-word, because like, you know, in the books, there's a guy named N-word Jim.
Yeah.
It's like really Tom, you know, or like, you know, like, or you know, really Mark.
Yeah.
N-word Mike.
Black Mike. Oh, dude.
Well, he says the N-word, like he says the hard R word, like, you know, his name is Blank Jim.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of his bits with that.
Yeah, back then you could kind of get away with it. He had a few N-word bits. Like he also had a bit about like when he thought the N-word one time, like he was getting coffee from a guy, like that N-word made the shit out of my coffee. And he was like, that was the first thought that popped in my head. Like it was a white guy.
There's a couple white comments I got away with it. I remember Ralphie May used to say it every now and then, and Ralphie May never like. But I remember. Have you ever listened to Ralphie May's like his whole like 2.5 hour like comedy course or whatever?
No.
It's really cool. Like I was doing, like he really, like he has a class in front of him, but you can listen to it, and there's like bits of advice I've taken into my own act and everything. But yeah, he was just talking about like how almost whenever he has used it, he's like, you can't have like, you can't have like bitch in your voice when you say it. Like you gotta almost like, you gotta do the thing. You know what I mean? You can't be like,
yeah. That's something I've noticed. Like doing any bit that you think is risky, like you gotta really own it.
Yes.
The crowd will feel what you feel, even if it doesn't seem like it. Like whatever you're feeling, the crowd is feeling.
Yeah.
And so like, cause I remember when I first started and I was going on stage, I was very visibly nervous, and I could see that makes the crowd tense because they're like, this guy's not even sure how this is gonna go, and so that's always like, and so for a while I was putting on this like hyper confident persona, where like I would say everything super matter of factly, and just kind of hold my head high, and that was working. And now I've kind of found a flow where like now I actually am confident on stage, so I could even just play around with ideas, and I don't even care where it's going. I just know that there's probably something here. So, and it's all for the crowd. Because I was listening to Louis C.K. talk about how he writes, and he says he kind of writes on stage. Like if he has an idea, he'll go on stage with that idea and just talk to the crowd about it.
Yeah.
And then from there try to siphon like the humor.
That's dope.
And so I've been trying to do the bit more of that lately, like trying to like really stretch out my bits, talk to the crowd more, kind of just like kind of let my train of thought see where it takes me.
That's kind of how I write them by myself. I haven't tried it with a crowd. Like with myself, a lot of times, like if I have like a story or something I want to make into a joke, I say it over and over again, and then like, you know, I'll just kind of freestyle, and like I'll be like, or a lot of times I'll be like, oh, that's dumb as shit, but then sometimes I'll be like, oh, like that's how I get tags, you know, like as I'm. But I need to get more comfortable going off the script in front of people.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't do that much.
No. Which that's hard. I mean, it took me like a few years to be able to do that. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, because when I first started off, I was super tight on the script. Like, I wouldn't try to swing it from at all. But now I'm like really loose with it. Well, mostly because I've been doing my jokes for a long time, so like I know them by heart, and so I know even if I stray far away, I know how to bring it back.
Yeah.
And like with tonight was super loose. I was hoping I would get a bigger pop with the beginning joke, cause like I was laughing hard.
Yeah.
I thought like, I think my dad survived the hurricane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that shit was so.
Like, I live in the mountains of Colorado.
I did think it was hilarious that the one guy had like a heartfelt like please support these people, and then you're all like, what about Hurricane Milton? That was perfect.
Yeah. It's funny because I was like, where's he going with this? Like, okay, I could probably use this.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna start with the vaping bit, but I was like, nah, this guy segued me perfectly for this hurricane bit. Nah,
that's the best you could have done. That's yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I just wish it got more of a pop. But when I was on stage, I could hear a lot of people chattering and talking to each other. So that's the only downside. Like, you have to be paying attention.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how the mic was yesterday when I was talking about people like talking, because there'd be some people that tune in halfway through the joke and they like don't get it, or they're like not fucking with it. I'm like, you didn't hear any of the.
I know, like it's a shame.
Do you ever have people too like it's almost like you can't win them over. It's almost like they want to like give you that face the whole time. They're like,
yeah, I've had that.
What was this guy even talking about? And you're like, what? Like, have you never tried to enjoy? Like, why'd you come here?
Yeah, like I remember at the Bites and Brews shows that we did, that crowd was a bit rough to begin with. I think you opened.
Yeah, I did.
Remember? Or like, well, Jasper did his first little set or whatever, and then you opened, and like the crowd was kind of like hard to crack.
Yeah.
And then I remember whenever I went up, there was like a whole table just talking to each other. There was like one table actually listening, and I was trying so hard to get those people attention. And it's funny because I remember I spilled my beer.
Yeah.
Fucking fired, or just trying to make a bit about it. And then the guy came up and took her towel. I was like, "Wait, this guy like works here? And he's just talking? Like what the fuck?" Like,
yeah. Bites can be back and forth on that. It can be really an amazing crowd. And sometimes I'm like, but then they'll come up afterwards and be like, "I loved your set."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Well, you didn't do the thing."
Yeah.
Can you do the thing? Can you laugh so I don't want to fucking hang myself?
Yeah, I've had that happen a lot of times where like I feel like it was basically a bomb, and then people come like, "That was actually really funny. It was a good set." And I was like,
Yeah.
"I wish you would have shown that with laughter."
Yeah. That's what's really cool whenever you though like get out to like actual comedy, like whenever I went to Austin and I did the Green Room.
Yeah.
And it was like a full like actual comedy club, and I was like I almost wasn't having to fight for the laugh. Like I just did I was doing these fleshed out bits of that, and I was having fun with them, and it was really nice. And I think Scott talked about it one time where he's talking about it's almost like we're running with like weights. We're running with weights, and then the moment you get out there, you know, you don't have to fight for it. It's like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, because I've done a lot of nightmare rooms. I mean, like here locally, there's a bar called Outskirts. Mike on Wednesday nights. That's probably the toughest room I've ever done, and I've done it multiple times. And it's like, I'm not funny. Like, I'm actually not a funny person. But then you go to like a real room, and you're doing the same bits you did there, and for some reason it's crushing.
Yeah.
But I've noticed more time is better. Because I used to hate doing more time because like fuck, I only have like 15 minutes of material. Like lately, I've been getting good at stretching that out and making it more. And I've been finding a way to like just make them longer. Like with like my DaBaby's penis bit, like I just start treating the crowd like they don't know anything about anything. I'm like, you guys know Google.com? Like you guys know
yeah.
And I describe to them what Google is, and I realize that gets people engaged. I try to ask them a lot of questions because that's how I know they're listening.
Yeah.
Like I did a show in Atlanta at the Thinking Man Tavern, and that show was also a bit like, these people are barely listening. So I had to ask them, like, you guys know Google.com? And until I see heads nodding, like, all right, now you guys were on the same page.
Fuck yeah. I don't know. I love doing it, man. But yeah, no, it's definitely it'll crush you. Fucking, I've definitely had some rides home where I'm like, why am I doing this? But then you have the one good fucking pop, and you're like, oh hell yeah. I feel like one good pop in a set is worth like 5 bombs.
Yeah.
The
exchange rate.
Yeah, 5 full 10-minute set bombs to one giant pop.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh hell yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because and I've also realized like, because whenever I did like the 10 minutes at hype, like I was talking about, which is funny because it's a bit I didn't even have it written down. It's just something I had in my mind, which is like, which I've done. I think I've mentioned a few times on stage, which is like, you know, they say if you lose like 10 pounds of weight, you gain an inch of dick.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, imagine Jared. Then I know that's false because Jared Fogle would have a fucking pool cue.
Yeah.
And think about how much damage you could do then. He'll molest an accident. That'd be hard. And
fucking turn around.
Yeah. And then that got a small laugh, and I was like, that's not funny. And then that got a big laugh.
Yeah.
Like, anyone here have kids? And it's funny because one girl was laughing really hard, and she raised her hand like she had kids. Like, you have kids and you're laughing at it? And then I did a bit about like, I bet Jared got 2 of them or something. And then I was like, I'm just kidding, they're ugly. But since I had the extra time, I was able to kind of get that out. If I was like on a tight 5, I could never like.
Oh yeah, you'd be rushing to the next thing. Like I have more shit to say.
But going up with 4 or 5 minutes of material and doing a 10-minute set, I feel like it kind of forces you to have to try to siphon out more.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I know, yeah. I feel like today, I feel like I don't do a lot of those, like exactly 5-minute sets anymore. So today it was kind of odd. I did feel very restrained.
Yeah, it was funny because I only went on stage with one joke. Like the hurricane joke was the only joke, like real joke, like that's structured that I had written. But I was like, I have this idea about vapes because that was a funny thing that I thought happened.
Yeah, gaming on the vapes.
Yeah, because like, dude, I was dying laughing whenever Charlie pulled out that fucking vape.
Yeah, dude.
He had a fucking D-pad on it.
Dude, those shits, they've evolved in such an insane manner. Like, remember, like, Pops?
Yeah.
And then now we're here, and it's like 8,000 hits, and it has a fucking PS4 attached.
What the fuck?
You play a new NCAA football game on this shit?
Dude, that shit blew my mind when he pulled out a vape. It was like a disposable vape with like a big ass screen on it.
Yeah.
And like a D-pad.
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck? You're fucking gaming on your vape. That shit had, like emulators on it. Dude, like, and I've seen vapes that look like phones. They have
Oh, yeah.
caps on them and shit. Like,
That's good. Don't you throw those away still?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, this is a waste.
That's what was getting crazy. It was getting crazy to me whenever they started having chargers in general. Like, what the fuck? Like, also, I gotta piss real quick. If that's, I don't know if I'm gonna leave a giant empty void.
I'll hold down the fort.
Okay. How should I? Should I like?
Yeah, you can probably set it down or whatever.
I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, it's the second door on the right. Yeah, JD's going to piss. He's whipping out that damn. He's whipping out that damn pee. The damn pee prosthetic. You know what I'm saying? So on that damn. It's kind of what Theo Von does. He'll just say something in a different way. I mean, he won't call it penis. You know, he'll call it that little leaky lizard. You know what I mean? He'll call it that little monkey machine or something. I don't fucking know. I shouldn't do other people's shit. But JD is a rapping guy, by the way. Maybe when he comes back, we'll talk about some rapping. Because he is a rapping guy. I have a few rap songs out, too. Don't look them up. They're awful. But if you want to look them up, look up Syndex on SoundCloud. SINNDEXX. He's a great rapper, great friend of mine. And I think he has 2 tracks I've done with him on that SoundCloud. One of them's called Finding a Way. And the other one's called Crime Traveler. Check it out on SINNDEXX on SoundCloud. You ready to piss?
Yeah.
Dude, that was the world's what the fuck? You let out 3 drops?
Yeah, man. I feel like I just pissed out a fucking can of tomato juice because of this chelada, dude.
Damn. Dude, I fuck with the chelada.
Yeah, I remember the first time you came with a chelada, you're like, this sucks. You put up the next 3 mics with the chelada.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a funny bit. Like, this shit tastes like ass. Well, that's every time someone eats me up drinking a chelada. Talking about shit it tastes.
I was thinking about it in the bathroom. I don't know. I feel like other people have talked about this, but like how big of a lie it is. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm exposing myself right now, but how big of a lie it is, like washing your hands every time. Like, I feel like whenever I do that at someone's house, I don't do it at any house.
Dude, I almost never wash my hands. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like,
it really depends on the situation. But like, I did it in No Shame. Like whenever someone's in the bathroom in No Shame, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, if someone else is in the bathroom, I'll hold my hands.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, yeah. If I'm in public too, I won't do it in a public bathroom unless someone else is in there, and I'll be like, all right. Yeah. But it's also like we all know we're lying to each other. Like half of us don't have hand soap in our bathroom.
Dude, there's dick juice everywhere.
So what?
There's dick juice everywhere.
Yeah, dude, fucking.
Like,
and I have hand soap in my bathroom, but it's. I don't know when I bought that. it's kind of just for parties where people are like, oh, he's not a piece of shit. He's, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember I went to Charlie's house show and I pissed, and I was like, there's no fucking soap in here.
Yeah.
I went to Charlie and tried to call him out, like, where the fuck's her hand soap?
Yeah.
Nasty asshole. It's funny, I wasn't even gonna wash my hands anyway.
Yeah, dude.
I wanted him to feel bad for being dirty. And it's funny, next house show he had hand sanitizer. And that shit was brand new, unused.
I'm actually way more likely to use hand sanitizer.
Yeah, me too.
Like just squirt your hand and walk away while you're fucking.
Easier.
It's way better.
Yeah, and it feels cleaner because, like, I don't know, it just seems cleaner to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, I remember whenever COVID was at its peak and you had to sing like "Happy Birthday" or some shit. There was a list of like other songs you could sing, and I remember the same length was you could sing the chorus of "Drip Too Hard" twice, and it was the length. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's reparations right there.
Yeah. Oh, dude, college was the shit. I hated class, but
yeah, being
drunk around campus, because like if you lived on campus, it's almost like you can access the whole campus.
Yeah,
you know, like we go into the fucking cafeteria at like 2 a.m. and shit. Like,
yeah,
that was kind of fun.
Yeah, I never lived on campus, but I did take advantage of all the resources. Like when I was in college, that's when I got more into video editing because they had all the Adobe software for free.
Yeah,
on the computers and shit, and and that was a lot. That was really cool. And I met a lot of cool people in college too.
Oh yeah, yeah. College was cool. College. Yeah, I think my year I spent there, it definitely, I don't know, had a big impression on who I am now, I guess. Like, especially coming right out of high school and then seeing people who aren't from my town,
Yeah.
you know? I was almost excited about that, too, because I was like, I went to the same school from kindergarten to high school.
Damn.
Like, I graduated the same, so, like, I was just excited to be around people who, like, didn't know every single one of my actions for the last
Yeah.
13 years, you know?
Yeah, for me, I moved around a lot because my dad was in the army. So like, I mean, I went to like 4 or 5 different elementary schools.
Damn.
And like, but then once I was in middle school, like, from then on, like I knew most people because like I went to middle school, and then when I went to high school, I went to a way different high school than everyone else. Like that was I maybe knew like 2 people from middle school that went to the high school I went to,
Yeah.
and so I feel like I was always meeting new people, and I'd meet people like, oh, I've known this guy since kindergarten. And I was like, dude, I don't know anyone from kindergarten.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. And so yeah, I always had to start from scratch trying to win or like trying to get people to like me or something. Which I realize now, like that actually doesn't really matter. Like trying to get people to like you or whatever.
Oh.
Like, because I noticed like, real recognizes real.
Yeah.
So whatever you do will attract whatever you do.
Yeah, trying to get everybody to like you, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, you definitely just lose yourself. It's not even, it's not fun.
Eminem song.
Yeah. It's just, it's not. I've definitely done that before, been like a people pleaser and shit. But like looking back, I'm like, that's not satisfying at all. Like I'm just stressed, and then you almost have this image that you built that you weren't like, and so like later on, you almost feel like you have that same image of the person to where you fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you already built this image, so you're like, fuck, you know?
Yeah, whenever I was in high school, like I didn't have one group. Like I remember I was like in my construction class, and like everyone's like in different groups, and I was just hopping from group to group, just hanging out with random people, because like I feel like I had no grounding. Like I didn't have a single group of people I hung out with all the time. I had some friends from middle school that I still hung out with. I actually still in contact with them today, but that was about it. Like in high school, I was just all over the place. I had a few good friends in high school. They're always weird. They're always weirdos too, but they were more in the weirdo group though. I wasn't in any group in high school. I never did any sports, never did any extracurricular activities until my senior year. I did a robotics club, and that was full of nerds. And I was like, fuck this. This shit's gay. I need a beer.
This is gay.
Dude, that's so fucking funny. That you did a show in where was it? Prattville?
Yeah, in Prattville, at Prattville Axe, in the middle of my set. It was it was such a weird vibe. So like we go in there, and the crowd's always different in there, cause like so there's a bar, so there's the Axe place. It's like the front of like downtown, you know, like that window is like the front. But if you go to the back of the Axe place, the same people own the bar behind it.
Oh, that's nice.
But you have to walk out of the bar into the back, but they let you bring drinks in there, and it's a whole nother business. And that's like we normally bark at that bar and people come through. Normally it's pretty nice. Normally like 10, 15 people come from that bar, and but this crowd was just like it was. Dude, they all like they got off their like construction shift, dude, and they're all like wearing the hats like you'd think and everything, and I remember like this one guy had such a thick. The guy I think that said this is gay, I need to go get a beer, was like Dun asked what he did, and he was like agriculture. And then Dunn was like, "What? What are you?" He was almost like it's almost like he was trying to put on a fucking. But anyways, like, and like, they were asking everybody who they're voting for and shit. But yeah, halfway through my set, I wasn't even doing a gay joke. I was talking about having women friends. I was talking about respecting women, and he was like, I heard him tell his friend, "This is gay. I need to go get a beer," and walks to the back of the Axe place to the bar. Fucking dude. And then the one guy had his why I'm voting for Donald Trump speech into the microphone. He's like, we had money back then, so it was cheaper. And I'm like, oh god damn, all right.
Whenever I did the show, I think it was also in Prattville. It was near Birmingham. I do know that, in some really small town. The population was like 4K or something. Like,
yeah,
it's like a college town, so like I had like some people there, and there was some guy there in like a cowboy hat. Which is funny because he was talking to a girl that looked like she was like 19, and he looked like he was like 30 something.
Yeah,
like he was way older, and he wouldn't stop talking. And then, I can't remember. I think like the panel started talking to him, and they convinced him to go on stage. He just bombed the entire
Oh my,
time, and I was
that,
like, "That's what he gets." Like,
that's satisfying though.
it is
It
so
is,
satisfying.
cause like I've talked about this before, but like, and like you know, comedians now and shit, and like I'm not trying to like make like what I do like that, like, you know, that crazy, you know, but it is a different, like, a lot of people don't understand having a microphone and having nothing to fucking work on, like work off of, like you have to fill the room with noise and be funny that way is so much harder than like riffing with your friends, or like having, like, even when people are naturally funny with their friends, they're having something to work on in the conversation or something they're doing. If you're just standing on a stage with nothing but your thoughts, it's so, and because like I've talked about it before, like like my closest, like, little, like, me and my two best friends from high school, right?
Yeah.
Like all three of us used to hang out all the time, and they ended up being in my rap group and stuff. And I would say those two guys are more naturally funny than me. Like I always thought they were like they're the two funniest guys I've ever met, but they would never do stand up.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I've met a lot of people like that. Like a lot of my friends are really funny, and but yeah, they never want to go on stage. Like,
No, yeah.
Like they would never want to do it.
And they recognize it too. They're like, that's just not for me. And I'm like, that's good, because like some people like are that way, but then don't understand that, and then they get up and it's fucking.
And then they realize like, oh shit, this actually like
this is tough.
Because I've noticed like I think comedy is like professional sports, professional gaming. I think a lot of the fans are closeted comedians themselves. They think they're funny people, so they want. But it's kind of like with like sports or gaming, where like they do it themselves, but they want to see it done at a high level.
Yes.
You know, cause I remember when like esports first came out, and I was like, why would you want to watch a guy play video games? I was like, well, cause he's fucking shredding that shit.
Yeah.
He's fucking killing it. Like I've never seen someone play this good, and so like, and I played the game myself, and like, yeah, I could play, but I suck.
Yeah.
You know, and watching this guy is like impressive, and so I think it's like that with comedy too. A lot of comedy fans are closeted comedians, and I can't remember the guy's name. He was here at No Shame today. You were talking to him outside. He goes to like all the shows.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and which he himself is like a closeted comedian. Cause I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I have some bits I've written out, but yeah, I don't know if I really ever want to go on stage or whatever." But like, I'm a huge fan. Like, I love to watch, and he loves to give like tips and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is funny because like he's never done it, but I do think he does digest it a whole ton. And
I agree. Some of the stuff he said to me, I'm like, yeah, no, I got that, yeah. Like when they come at you in a constructive way, it is, it is
actually kind of nice.
Yeah, you're like, I got that.
Yeah, that guy's actually cool as fuck. I wish I remembered his name. Me and him had like a huge conversation about like Nintendo and stuff, because I guess he's a huge Nintendo fan, and I am too. And we talked about that for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That guy's like a super fan. But yeah, it's always really nice. But how did he get into rapping?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, well, I mean, initially, I've always been a fan of like rap music, because like my dad's always been the type to listen to like any kind of music. Like I remember growing up, he listened to metal, rap, but then he also listened to like Britney Spears and shit. Yeah. Like my dad was like the guy that listens to everything, and I'm that way now. But I remember rap was like always what like attracted me first, because like, you know, like being like, we were talking about like being like weird earlier, and I feel like rap, kind of like metal and shit, I feel like rap, like metal music and stuff like that, like share like I feel like rapping comes from a space of like being the outside, you know, like fuck this, I'm gonna fucking be. And I also remember I was like really into, like, I never had an intention of like doing rap. I was just a fan of it, and then I got really into poetry through like English class. And I remember I wrote a poem one time that like got in the school newspaper and shit, and like I was good at writing poetry, and then I was like, this is just, it's the same as rapping, like you can. And then I didn't release a song though until I talked about it like with a lot of my friends throughout high school, and then we made our group because like they were also like super like we were all like rap fans, like the new album coming out by like this guy or whatever the fuck, and I was like, let's make a group, and we dropped our first song like a couple months after graduating, and it's just super fun. I don't know, I think a lot of people should do it. It's really, I don't like, I think a lot of people like gatekeeping like certain things, like I think like you just have fun with it, you know, like I feel like I've come across some people who do it, and they're like, I'm the next big thing. Like I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
They show me their stuff, and I'm like, this is
The exact
no. Yeah, it's the exact. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've heard like, I'm different. Like this is completely different. And I hear it. I'm like, this is what? What do you mean? Like it. But yeah, that's how I got into it really. And I've been rapping way longer than I did comedy. I really want to get back into it. I really want to start performing. Like I have a band I got together. We just have to what would you call it? Like practice? There's like we have to practice more so we can do it live, you know.
What would you say is your biggest rap inspirations? Do you think?
Well, the first rapper I was ever like huge into was Eminem. Yeah, I feel like that's like a lot. Yeah,
White man in America.
I was about. Yeah, I really think that's a very common. But also like, I think the thing with like Eminem, like even like past him being white, like I really genuinely think, like especially like I said, being a weird kid, he just has a lot of commonalities with being like a weird fucking, and like just his like joking manner and stuff. Like he's just. I just connected with him, you know. Like I ended up getting into like gangster rap and stuff like that. But like at first, I'm like I have no connection to like you know, but like him. But like as I got older, like my biggest inspiration, like writing wise, is Earl Sweatshirt. But I love everything all the Odd Future guys do. Like I'm a huge Tyler Creator fan. Like,
oh yeah,
I'll get drunk and like go on a huge like I'll suck Tyler Creator's dick for a good minute, you know.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, it's funny because yeah, I have a pretty basic there's like kind of like this I have a pretty basic taste. I feel like I love all the greats. Like I love Eminem.
Yeah.
I love Tyler the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
I love MF Doom. I love like J Cole and shit, Kendrick. Like because Eminem was probably my first because my dad listened to a lot of rap. He listened to like Cypress Hill.
Oh yeah.
He would listen to like Spanish rap, like Control Machete. And some other people, and but when I heard Eminem, I was like, this is like crazy. Like to me, it was like this is like, I was so impressed with the way he would rap.
Yeah, I used to have a little Walkman. It's not like the Walkman you put the tapes in, but it was like an MP3 player where you downloaded stuff onto it, and all it had was Eminem's albums on it, like up to I think. Maybe Recovery was it at the time, because I think Recovery came out when I was like 9. So like around that time, I think Recovery was his newest album, and yeah, I remember being so hyped when Marshall Mathers LP2 came out, and I was like, this is the shit. Learning Rap God and stuff like that was.
I remember that was huge when I was like in middle school. Like Rap God was big, dude. I remember I was in middle school, and like my stepbrother was like, dude, my friend can do the fast part of Rap God, and he's white.
Andy's white.
I don't think Eminem's fucking white. Are you stupid?
I feel like that became a very white guy thing to be like, I can rap fast. Because like I don't know if you remember, there was a time. I think it still kind of exists, but like it was big. So whenever we were talking about like SoundCloud rappers earlier, I think before the pod we started the pod, but like we're talking about that. But then there was also this like other group of people,
like the spiritual lyrical.
Yeah, they were like, fuck these SoundCloud rappers, but it's like they would rap fast but talk about absolutely nothing. Like they just like fucking I don't know how to explain it. It was also garbage, but I remember also having a time in my life where I thought that was dope. Like I remember like I loved like Twista and Hobson and Tech Nine, and like I mean, if we're talking about those guys are really talented.
Top 5 right there.
Top 5, yeah. Those guys are really. Dude, Hobson's so funny to me. Hobson's the reason I like dropped religion basically, because he made Ill Mind of Hobson 7, and I was like, yo, you're gonna jack off and go to hell? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Dude, I used to love Hobson. Like I remember Ill Mind 4. I was like, dude, this guy's spitting. Because I remember he was like, I think Ill Mind 4 is about like shitty people. Or and he was like, I honestly feel like grabbing your brain and hitting it. Dude, you don't even deserve a brain. Give me it. But looking back at it, like this shit is corny as fuck.
It's horrible.
But dude, when I was in middle school, like damn, like this, which is part of me still feels that way. Like I'm not even gonna lie, but like say with like Logic, like I used to love Logic.
Yeah.
He lost me after the album Everybody. That one I was kind of like, all right, man, because he did just become like everything is about being biracial.
Yes. Yeah.
And he mentions it in his music. Like everyone I talk about being biracial. It's like, well, you fucking do.
It's almost like he would like put the N word in his songs. It's almost like he's like wanting you to hear that he said it.
Yeah, I know.
Like I can't say it, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like
he
what?
was like the whitest Jewish guy you've ever seen in your entire life.
By the way, I can say it.
Yeah. And it's like, this is mom have a paternity test because I saw pictures of his brothers and they're actually black. Like,
Oh shit, yeah.
and then he's the only one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Your mom than a fucking white guy.
Yeah, I never got really into Logic that much. I have a lot of friends who really love Logic though.
Yeah, I like Logic, but he kind of fell off for me. Like, I liked his earlier stuff, but then yeah, I just felt like you said, like, it felt like he was trying too hard to like justify him saying the N word. So in every song, he's like, by the way, I'm biracial. Like,
Yeah, there was that one song. I remember when he did a song with Eminem, and at the beginning he's like, "Son, you know you're the greatest son alive."
yeah, get my balls.
And he drags it out, and you're like, "Whoa, all right,
Like, and we're
bro."
shit, I'm killing it. Like, fat.
I'm killing.
I mean, that was a good, like, he performed well. But like, yeah, like shit like that. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Because I have my guilty pleasures when it comes to like rapping. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's some new Eminem that dude. One time, this is really funny. I really liked this girl, right?
Yeah.
And so we're talking about our music tastes, and she was like, "I'll just send you my top 50 songs from Spotify last year because they give you that list every year."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hell yeah, okay." But like, you can't just send somebody your personalized list. You have to copy it into another playlist. She sent me hers, and I was like, okay, I'll send her mine. And I copied and put it, but the third song was Godzilla by Eminem, and so I took that off of the playlist and replaced it with like a My Chemical Romance song. I was like, bro, all the songs fit, but like that one, I was like, she cannot know my third most listened to song of that year was Godzilla with Juice WRLD.
Yeah, dude, I hate like feeling like your music taste is cringe. It's like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
Because I still love Eminem. Like, Relapse is probably still one of my favorite albums, and I still listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
But that album's like hard because he's just talking about killing women the entire time.
Yeah.
And like he has a song called Insane, which is about him getting molested by his stepdad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'm not playing this around the hose.
Yeah, no.
I remember in high school, I thought I can press a girl by doing the fast part of All Right. 20 woman in my Chevy, tell me come get like, and like no one's impressed by it.
No. I used to learn songs and just play the instrumental and rap over them and be like, yeah, I know the lyrics. Like I was basically just doing karaoke.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember one time I was in school and I was so bored. I was like, I'm just gonna play the entire album to Pimp a Butterfly in my head. I knew almost all the words.
Yeah.
I just basically sit there just rapping the entire album on my head. Just not paying attention at all, whatever the fuck the teacher's talking about. She'll be saying, she'll like, shut the fuck up, he's about to go fast.
Shut the fuck up. I need to lock in.
Dude, that album made me, I was like, man, fuck racism. Like, dude, that album like really like made me like, damn, dude, this shit's real.
Dude, I remember my first run-in with that was Straight Outta Compton, the fucking movie, and I was like, "What? Cops are like that?" Fucking, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
My dad says that. He says he remembers like being with me when I watched that movie. And he could see something snap in my brain where I was like, "What?" And I rewatched that movie. It's not that great of a movie. But I remember at the time, like it really hit me. I was like, they're being unfair to Ice Cube, like fucking, and it is real. But I just remember, like, it's such a goofy piece of media to be like, this is my change of heart.
Yeah, which my dad always hated the cops and stuff. Which my dad like experienced like a lot of real racism whenever he moved to the U.S. Like,
oh yeah,
my dad talk, you'd probably barely understand him. Like he has a super thick accent. He'd always tell me stories about like how in the army, like, everyone would talk shit about him and be like, why is this guy ranking up? He can barely speak and all that.
Yeah.
And how like, and I've seen it. Like, I remember the first time I ever saw it, I went to Subway with him, and he was like, can I get some mayonnaise? And they're like, huh? He's like, mayonnaise? And they're like, what? And he's like, mayonnaise? And I'm like, oh, we're out of mayonnaise. And I was like, oh. And then we were sitting down eating, and I saw some guy in line. He got mayonnaise on his shit. And I was like, was that racism? Like they just refused to give him mayonnaise. And I was like, was that dead ass racism, or did she just really not understand what he said?
Yeah.
Like, but I think she was just being racist.
Oh yeah.
Like, she was like, huh? Like I feel like she was like really emphasizing the like acting like she couldn't understand him. Nah, it pissed me off.
I've seen that before. People like it's like, bro, just use your context. You know what they're saying. Like this
like,
fucking.
It's a Subway, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably the main instance I've seen where it's like, I think that might have actually been a racism. Like, they just straight up did not give my dad his fucking mayonnaise.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Sauce-based racism.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, fucking.
I try to make a bit about racists, which is because the bit is mostly like, I bet it's exhausting to be racist.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, because like, you know, you go to Walmart, like, fuck, dude, I don't like one fucking race. There's like fucking 14 races here. Like, that's got to be exhausting.
Oh yeah.
Like, fuck, I hate like everyone here.
Being mad all the time.
Yeah, dude.
This is the worst country to be racist in. You can't.
Oh yeah. It's funny 'cause I saw like a funny like TikTok about like it was like some guy in the Bronx. It was like a skit, but this guy in the Bronx was like burning swastika, like sheets of paper swastikas on them in front of skinheads.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't care about that. Like, why? That's just a sheet of paper. Like, you see that flag back there? It's like a Confederate flag. That doesn't mean anything. Like, hatred's in the heart.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Like, hate's inside of you. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
It's almost beautiful, but it's such a fucked up way.
Yeah.
Hatred's
I'm
not.
definitely butchering the skit. Like, it was way funnier, but that's like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Because like this guy's just trying to like burn all like their Nazi shit. And
Yeah.
like, we don't care. I'm still gonna be hateful.
I had a bit I wanted to work on. Like I think it's wild, like, being racist when we have so many other outlets. Like, just become a sports fan. Like, dude, people into sports are mad at each other, like because of like the color of their jersey, dude. Like fucking like.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen like soccer games in South America or like.
Yeah.
There's been like people have been killed.
Yes.
Because of them.
That's what I'm saying.
I saw a video on YouTube about like this game. It was like, I think it was like Honduras versus El Salvador. Like El Salvador had just gained independence from Honduras, and so like the soccer game was like a huge deal. And then like whenever the game ended, it ended in riots and like 2 people died.
Holy shit.
It was, like, and like it almost started a war.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love Reeve's bit about like, I thought Israel versus Palestine was a soccer game, and then I realized it's not, the stakes aren't that high.
Yeah.
And like that's actually a good bit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But you have to like know about soccer, like the crazy fucking, like how people are so passionate about that. Growing up, I felt a little left out because I remember like, I'd say I fully moved to the U.S. in like 2nd grade. Like that's when I fully became like a United States person, and everyone's so upset with fans in Colorado because I lived in Colorado when I was really little. When I first moved to the U.S. and people were about like the NFL and stuff, and I didn't know anything that was going on. Like oh, I hope the Saints win the Super Bowl, and I was like, I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
And but everyone is so like, the kids would be arguing in the playground. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. And I still kind of feel that way now. They're like, dude, Georgia, Alabama are gonna, and I was like, yeah, they're going at it. Like, I have no clue. And I felt that way there because my dad only watched boxing. It's all my dad watched.
Oh, okay.
He box.
Okay, yeah.
He just watched boxing every day.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing I knew about. But most kids didn't watch boxing, and I didn't even watch boxing. I just watched my dad watch it.
Yeah.
And so I always felt like I wish I was a sports fan because like I want to have hatred towards a group for no reason.
Oh, dude, I've done it. I've been there. I'm a huge sports fan. I remember I made a Snapchat a while ago. One of my favorite things I've ever said to the public. It was during I'm a huge Miami Heat fan, and we were in the playoffs and we were playing Boston, and we beat Boston. And I put on my Snapchat story. I said, fuck Boston. I want every single resident of Boston to line up at my doorstep so I can bitch slap them individually. It's like so insane, but it's so. And what's funny too is like I'm not even from Miami. I don't even like. I'm just as far from Boston as I am Miami. Like I don't even.
It's funny because like my dad's a Miami Heat fan, but my dad used to live in Florida. He's a Florida citizen, so I guess that's why. But he doesn't even watch basketball.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
don't watch it. Like he's like, oh, the Heat won, hell yeah. Like,
yeah.
like,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I remember in high school, like I'd hang out with my friends and they'd watch like the game, and I didn't even know the rules of football. Like even in high school, I kind of had like a vague idea, and I would just cheer for the opposite team, just to fuck with them.
Yeah.
And they'd get really pissed off, like if they like like the enemy team scored, I'd be like, yeah, let's fuck, like, let's fuck.
Yeah.
And they'd all look at me like, what the like. It's like, fuck you, they fucking suck or whatever. I'm just kidding. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, yeah, college football. I've never been as big in the NFL, but college football is a really fun one, and like I'm a huge Auburn fan, which really sucks because we really suck. But it is. We were at a house show, and they were playing hardcore music, and it was really fun because at one point, like the lead singer was like, "Who's watching the game tomorrow?" At this like hardcore punk show, and this one girl was like nobody cares about football, and then I said I care, and then somebody was like, hell yeah, brother, and I said yeah, fuck Arkansas, because we were playing the next day, and he was like, yeah, fuck Arkansas, dude. Like the whole state of Arkansas that week is on my fucking like. I don't think about you like the rest of the year, but that one week we're playing Arkansas, I'm like the entire state can go fuck itself.
Yeah, dude, I remember my friend's dad would be like genuinely stressing. Like watching the game,
Yeah.
and I was like, I wanted to feel passionate about something like that, like, because I never watch anything, and I feel like genuine like stress and anxiety, like watching people do something. I'm like, man, that must be nice. Like, I bet that's nice, but it's probably, I don't think I'm ever gonna get into sports just because it's been, I just don't see myself doing that.
Yeah.
But, so I guess that's, yeah, it's just nothing. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want this to happen.
It can be fun. It can be really fun whenever it's good, but when it's not, it's like you're just you almost seem ridiculous. You almost seem less like whenever like it's going good and you're like celebrating your team. Everybody's like, oh hell yeah! But like whenever it's going bad, you're almost looked at as like childish. It's like why are you that mad?
Yeah.
But I've been there where I'm like, fuck, all right.
Yeah, it's funny because like my friend's dad's like pretty racist. I think like we talk a lot of racist jokes and stuff. And I remember like one time he was like, "Oh, one of the neighbors here is from Nicaragua," and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like, "Yeah, you want to talk to her?" I was like, "Not really." Yeah. And he was like, "I was like, well, I thought you might want to. Like, if I was in Nicaragua, and like there's an American here, I'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, you Georgia fans?" Like, yep. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I guess that was a good conversation. And like, really, that's what you would do?
Yeah.
You find a fellow American, you find out he likes the opposite team. Like, actually, never mind. I don't fuck with this guy. Like, that's how deep that shit goes. It's funny because I did end up meeting his Nicaraguan neighbor, and she lived in Nicaragua when she was like 3 years old. She wasn't even Nicaraguan. She's like a full American.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell am I gonna talk to her about? Because I've been in Nicaragua. I was in Nicaragua just a year ago, and like, dude, that shit sucks. I remember I talked to her. I was like, what was it like when you were a kid? Because it's getting pretty bad now. She's like, I haven't been there since like 1980 something.
Yeah.
Why are you even saying anything? Fucking American pitch. Like,
1980 something. Yeah, it's wild. 40 ass years ago, dude.
Jesus.
40 ass.
Yeah, 40 ass.
40.
And my 40 ass mule. Was that wild that he told slaves that, like, all right, you were a slave? Fuck it. 40 acres and a fucking mule.
Dude.
How is there enough space anywhere for that? 40 acres, dude? That's big.
What are you going to do there? Like, with the...
And one mule?
Yeah, if you own nothing, like, what the fuck? Like, that is kind of a ripoff.
Yeah. Like,
I guess you could sell it for money, maybe? I don't...
Yeah, because I was talking to my friend's dad, and I was like, it is kind of, they did do black people pretty dirty. He was like, I don't know about that. I was like, what do you mean? Like, because, like, I like read stories of, like, Black Wall Street. I don't know if you heard the story. It's really fucked up, but, like, I think it was in Oklahoma. Like, all the black people moved there, and they made a city that was so prosperous, they were calling it Black Wall Street because it was making a lot of money. And the KKK just came in and burnt the whole city down.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And it's funny, the only reason they know that happened is because they took pictures and made it into postcards. That's the only historical records we have of it happening. And then I think in like 2016 or 18, they went down and they found like mass graves. And they checked the skeletons and there were black people.
Holy shit.
And I was like, yeah, the black people were not done dirty at all, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? Like, they made it to basically an equal level. And then they was like, fucking. Let's do it over again.
Dude, yeah, any race around here, fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like they all. I think the craziest one to me, people don't talk about a lot, is like Asians during World War II, and like how we literally also had a Holocaust. Like, yeah, we literally, and like they're like you're not like, they're like, I'm not Japanese, I'm like Korean. They're like, yeah, well you look it, and they fucking it's like, what?
Yeah,
It's wild. I mean, it's wild you're throwing anybody in there, but then they would also be like, well, if you just slightly look it, that's crazy.
Born here, like, all right, well, you got the eyes, buddy.
It's wild.
Yeah, like World War II had no good guys.
No,
Really, like the U.S. was killing blacks and Asians.
People like, there was literally people in Congress being like, well, then maybe the Nazis are right. Like, there was people don't talk about that in history books, but there's people in our government being like almost half of them were like, maybe we should side with Germany. Like, fucking.
Yeah. Which, I mean, after the war ended, we hired basically half of the German scientists.
Yes.
Like in Operation Paperclip, like the Russians got one half and we got the other half, and that half formed the CIA and NASA.
Yeah.
Like, which I know the rocket that we took to the moon was the scaled up version of the V1 rocket the Germans designed for war.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Fucking yeah. World War II is.
At least after we killed the Germans, they cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Stopped doing all that, but then in America, there were still fucking like hanging black people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever you look at like any piece of media that like portrays World War II, it's almost like Americans were like we are the good guys. But yeah, no, like it was insane. Like, fucking, I don't know. I mean, what was the reason we went after them if like we were doing the same shit? I don't even remember. Like, fucking, it had to have been something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think we only attacked the Germans and shit. I know. I think we actually mostly fought the Japanese because of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Because like I know like most of the European like theater was like that was mostly like Europe fighting.
Yeah.
I know Americans helped, but I think we mostly fought in Japan.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah. Until like the end.
Yeah, and even then we had like fuck just blow their shit up. Like, they were hardcore. Like the Japanese were fucking. They would kill themselves. Like they wouldn't let themselves get caught or anything. And like if they were losing, just fucking start flying their planes into your ship. And
it's
shit.
Insane,
dude. Like Americans would never do that.
No.
Like if you get drafted, you're like, we're losing the battle. Just fucking fuck it, fly that shit. Fly that shit into the
We're losing the battle. They're like, I can go home, right? And like, nah, dude, fucking
fly your fucking plane into that shit.
That is the one I've heard. Like that is the one difference. Like even with good things, not even just flying your fucking plane into like other things, but like America is very like self-centered. Like people in America, like no other countries really like that. Like other countries are more like for the community, I guess, type shit. But America is very like me.
Individual comes first.
Yeah, I need my slice. You know.
In Japan, you're like for the emperor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shit up. Which I even saw like a video where like the early Japanese torpedoes, dude, I can't believe they would do this shit, but they would just put a guy and seal him in, and he would guide it manually and blow himself up into a boat.
Holy shit!
Like, dude, if someone told me I was gonna do that, I was like, yeah, nah, man. I'm good. Can I just work at the factory and make bullets or something? Like, man, you're gonna make me into a bomb,
dude.
That's why I like Scott's bit too, where he's like, you think terrorists ever saw a drone strike? Like, what the fuck?
What are we doing, man?
Like, why can't we just strap the bomb to a fucking Nerf football?
Nah, dude, that's wild. I did not know about the torpedo thing. I knew about the planes.
Yeah, I remember I went to a car meet because a lot of my friends are huge into cars.
Yeah.
So I would go to the car meets just to hang out. And some guy was showing off his car and was like, yeah, this whatever, these engines were actually designed by like retired kamikaze pilots and all this. I was like, hold on, how the fuck do you retire as a kamikaze pilot? How bad do you have to fuck up? Like, I should have missed. I should have missed. How the fuck do you retire? I guess he didn't send him out or something.
Yeah, fucking. My other question is like, how do they still have a military after, like, if everybody's killing themselves?
Yeah, and then like we would like
they don't have as big of a population as us, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
And then like I remember like I read, I can't remember what battle it was, but like they cornered the Japanese and they all started jumping off the cliff. Like all the soldiers just ran off the cliff and killed themselves.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like they refused to get captured. I heard like a lot of Japanese soldiers also would like just blow themselves up with grenades and shit. Like they would let themselves get captured and just blow themselves up with the grenades.
Oh my god.
And, like yeah, they were like that's why like fuck it, just blow their shit up.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And then even after the first nuke, they still didn't surrender.
Yeah.
Fuck it, drop another one. Fuck it.
We kind of missed.
Dude,
Am I right on that? Like Nagasaki kind of missed a little bit.
I heard a guy, I don't know if it's true, but I heard one Japanese man survived both atomic blasts.
Holy shit.
Because
Why'd he go to Nagasaki after, like, out of all the
It's
places?
funny because like he like lived in Nagasaki, but like, he like worked in whatever the second city was.
Hiroshima.
Like yeah, it's like yeah, or like he like lived in Hiroshima, and they blew that up. It's like I guess I'm gonna go to work in Nagasaki.
That's so crazy.
And then they blew that shit up, and he somehow survived. He had like I think he had like radiation poisoning, but he still lived like a long life.
Damn, dude.
And I heard a story of a Japanese soldier that like, didn't know the war ended. I don't know if you heard about this. This is like a kind of popular story.
I think I know about that. Yeah.
They like found him in like the 90s or something.
Yeah.
Still in the woods, like hiding with a gun.
Yeah.
And I think they only found him because he killed like a civilian or something that was like American or something.
Yeah.
Because he thought, because after the war ended, they airdropped pamphlets saying the war was over, but he thought that was like a ploy by the Americans to get the Japanese to come out.
Yeah.
And so he didn't buy it, and so he just lived in the wilderness like for like decades,
Yeah.
just surviving.
Yeah.
But dude, those guys are fucking hardcore.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I do not have any love in my heart to that extent for this.
Yeah, not even for football or anything.
No, dude.
Like going in a torpedo.
Not even for the Auburn Tigers, dude. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm fucking flying my plane into a boat. I don't care how bad we're losing. I'm going home. Fuck that. I'm gonna start speaking English.
I'm gonna start speaking English. So I think I gotta pee again.
That's all right. I'll hold it down.
Okay, hold it down. So with the solo, I fucking.
Yeah, I'll start doing a fucking verbal guitar solo.
Okay, hell yeah. I'll be quick.
God damn. Yeah, those fucking Japs, dude. Insane. Yeah, I could, dude, World War II? Dude, that shit was brutal, man. Like, they were just sending people out there. Like, D-Day? That's crazy. Alright, fuckers, get off the boat and get shot. Yeah, what the hell? I would've been swimming away, dude. Fuck that. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I bet I felt like the world was ending back then, though. You know? Everything getting blown up and shit. Yeah, shit's gotta suck. Maybe World War II isn't a good topic. Maybe we should segue into something else. I'm not sure, though. You know, this is all a work in progress, folks. You know, I'm still learning the ropes in this whole thing. I'm not even sure if anyone's gonna listen to this. At least this far. If you're listening this far, drop a comment down below, like and subscribe, and rape that fucking bell icon. I know I kind of did a bit about that when I was doing the solo pod already, but dude, how the fuck do you piss that quickly?
I don't know, dude.
You have to have a fucking micro penis. That's just fucking wired straight to the bladder.
I think I do have I do think I just have a small bladder. I don't think I hold that much piss.
Damn. Fuck, dude. I remember at my solo pod, I was talking about how like it's weird how like YouTubers, the way they describe like liking and subscribing is so brutal. Like fucking destroy that like button.
Yeah.
Rape the bell icon.
Rape the bell icon.
Like damn, dude. How about I just like it?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever liked a YouTube video. I don't think I've ever pressed the like button. Oh shit. Where's my...
It wasn't until I started doing YouTube that I was like, alright, I'll like this video.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, fine, I'll like it.
I used to on social media like Instagram. I used to like never like anything, and then one day I just started liking everything. Like I wouldn't even like fully
Yeah.
Like my friends will like have seen me like scrolling through, and I'll like it, and then I'll look at the post like fucking, and then sometimes I'll unlike it and be like, oh, I did not like that.
Yeah, it happened to me with like saving things. I used to never save anything, like any post I saw on Instagram or TikTok or anything. And now I save like anything I think is even kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I don't even go back and watch
No,
them.
you don't. Yeah.
I don't even go back and watch them.
How about light? I don't. Where the fuck did my lighter go? Yeah, I do have an insane catalog of saved Instagram posts.
It's funny because like on TikTok, like I have like saved folders. Like one of the folders is called like it's called like I think it's called schizophrenia or something, and it's just about all the conspiracy shit that I see on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
I love conspiracy shit,
Oh, that shit's fucking awesome.
dude. It's so fun to watch. Like I thought about doing an episode of the pod because like one of my favorite conspiracy websites called the Donald Marshall Revolution. And that shit is so fucking crazy. Like I don't believe half of it, but it's still an interesting read. Just reading this guy being like, "Yeah, I was a clone." And
Oh, okay.
Stairway to Heaven and Hitler and all this shit.
And I met Hitler.
Yeah.
What does all that have to Stairway to Heaven to Hitler? What all that?
If I remember correctly, this guy claims that many elites, when they go to sleep, their consciousness is uploaded into a clone in underground facilities where they can like plan things out. They can do it's like they have like crazy like deviant parties.
Yeah.
They can have sex with other clones, and they have like gladiator fights and shit. And that some of the clones are like, or some of the people they use them for basically like media farms. Like this guy, and he claims that like they can like increase certain parts of your brain through like surgery. Like they'll like do scratches on your brain or something. It'll grow back thicker there, and then so now you're more talented at this or something. And that so he was like a gladiator or something in the clone world, and they also had him help write famous songs.
Yeah.
And he also claims that his dead clone is on the cover of a Megadeth album. Let me see if I can actually pull up a
The cover
picture.
What's so the talking about the Megadeth guy, like their mascot, or like
Or no, it's just like he was just on the cover of one of the albums, I guess. Like, let me see.
that's wild.
Shit.
Stairway to Heaven, Megadeth, Hitler. That's my shit though. I love conspiracy shit.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, this guy right here. He claims that. Yeah, I'll pull it up on the big.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he claims like that this album cover that's actually a picture of his real dead clone.
What?
Yeah. Hold on. What the fuck is there? It is. Bruh. I'm trying to open the image, not the fucking.
Why does Megadeth have the image? Oh, I see the okay.
Yeah. So like that's the album, but and then I guess this is like the comparison. It's like that's Donald Marshall,
Oh, okay.
and he claims that that's him, and like they used a photograph of his dead clone.
How do you
Claims in one of the he also claims in like the reptilian shapeshifter thing, and he claims that in one of the Nirvana songs it has audio of the eggs hatching of the alien species called Vril.
the Vril? I feel like I've heard that before. Is that a common conspiracy?
Yeah,
The Vril?
yeah, and like the Vril are walking amongst us, but we don't know that they're actually Vril. It's like the Vril will inject you through your eye, and then you will die, but the Vril will inherit you and all your memories.
Oh
So they
shit.
can perfectly play as you, but they're actually one of the Vril. And that he was saying like in the cloning facilities, like everyone's afraid to talk shit about the Vril because they don't know who is one themselves.
Yeah.
The Vril gives you secrets to technology and stuff in exchange for like they like to eat human children, and so they'll eat human children and it'll give you like hidden information. And
Yeah.
the Vril want to take over the surface world.
Holy shit.
And that there's like this hidden war that's basically going on, and they're already taking over the Earth secretly through this like injection process where they become you.
Why is it always children? Like why? I guess it's because it always tugs at people's heartstrings or the fuck. Like it gets them like the kids have to, but like especially like what's the gain with a species to eat children?
I think it has to do with purity and the soul.
I guess so. Yeah.
With like the purity and the soul, at least from what I've been reading, like all this conspiracy stuff, like oh they're raping kids and eating kids.
Yeah.
Well, part of it is that kids have stem cells, and so like you could consume kids. Well, even just recently, what's his name, Peter Nygard? This guy got caught doing some crazy shit. Not like he's in trouble for it right now. Where like he was basically like raping like 14-year-olds, impregnating them, forcing them to have abortions, and then injecting his undead kids in
Yes.
his own face.
I heard about that.
So he could stay young. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, there's some.
Yeah, because after he got arrested, he looked like real quick, like was decaying. Like he fucking real quick looked like shit.
Yeah, so they're saying like it's like multifaceted. Like part of it is like it's it makes you younger longer, like having these stem cells, and then I guess the other part is like this weird spiritual aspect where they think like you could harvest people's souls essentially.
Yeah.
And kids, I guess, have the best souls or something.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. That shit's fucking wild.
Yeah, it always seems to be like in the conspiracy world, like protecting kids.
Yeah.
It's like protecting kids is a good thing, but like fucking, it's like it seems to be a giant focal point, like with them.
Yeah.
Like no matter what the conspiracy is, where we're talking about aliens, politicians, anything.
It always goes
kids.
back to kids.
Kids are always there. Yeah.
Which which I think, I mean, it's a good message, I guess. Like, you had to protect the kids from the aliens or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think there is some truth to that. Like, I do think kids, that's like I mean, there's a guy named John of God.
Yeah.
Who's Oprah Winfrey's personal spiritual healer. He got caught having a baby farm.
Oh,
He
dude.
got arrested for it. He had a dude. That guy was disgusting. Like, he would do these like spiritual healing things, and they were disgusting. He would like slit your eyeball with a razor blade. He would like cut your stomach and start fingering the hole. And there would be huge lines to have this done to you. And then that guy had a huge baby farm.
Wait, so that's what he was doing in the open?
Yeah, like openly. Like,
And Oprah was like, "This guy's awesome."
yeah, Oprah was like, "I fuck with this guy. He's my personal healer." And I remember like Marina Abramovic also was like, she would like be present during these like ceremonies where he's just mutilating people, basically just hurting them.
Yeah.
But he's like saying he's healing them, and it's crazy. And he got caught having a baby farm. And the journalist that found out, she killed herself.
Damn.
An Arabic woman. And her last video was like her like near the ocean. She's like, "I'm not suicidal."
Yeah.
This shit's crazy. I think something bad's gonna happen. I'm like, yep, she killed herself. How sad.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, I do think, but I think it's nothing new. Like, if you look through history, people that have all the power have always been super fucked up.
Yeah.
Like even in like ancient Roman times, like Caligula, that emperor. I
Dude.
can't remember what philosopher was like. Once you experience all the pain, or all the pleasure, you can only get off to pain.
Yeah.
It's like the theory. Like, this guy was emperor when he was young, and then he started just fucking everyone's wife.
Yeah.
By the end of his reign, he was like watching women get eaten by lions.
Yeah, but wouldn't you like walk into like a wedding and be like, "All right, I gotta fuck your wife right now"?
Yeah.
Like, he would do shit like that. That's wild.
Yeah, they even had a word for it called prima nocta or something, where like the emperor, he has to fuck your wife before you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like, that's just wild.
That's crazy.
I don't know how everyone just agrees to that.
Yeah.
If I was his guard, I'd be like, "You're not fucking my wife, buddy."
Dude, imagine that now. Imagine like Joe Biden has to walk in and fuck your wife.
Yeah. They put a fucking popsicle stick as a stick. You can't get it up. You have to help him fuck your wife.
That's how I decided who I vote for. That's what I should have said at fucking Bravo.
Dude,
I'm voting for Kamala because
fuck my. It is funny because Kamala is the only president that we know of that has gotten her back blown out, though.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
She's married to a man.
Yeah.
He's probably clapped them cheeks.
Probably glad. Probably.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny if like Trump is like, "I know Kamala gave a guy head, a lot of teeth,
A lot of teeth.
horrible head."
Oh, dude. Oh, fuck. Yeah, they've already had a debate. Yeah, they did have a debate,
Yeah,
didn't they?
they did.
Damn, I didn't watch any of it.
I didn't watch any of it either. I just heard like everyone's like Donald Trump said some guys eating cats and shit.
Yeah.
What I think is funny because I looked into it and I think there's actually some there's like truth to it, but everyone's just memeing him because he can't speak correctly ever.
Well, truth in what sense?
That apparently some immigrants were like eating ducks from public parks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And eating and I saw like body cam footage of like a woman arrested for eating a cat. So he's probably talking about that.
but just blowing it up like fucking.
Yeah, like they're all eating.
They're all eating. Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's very common. Yeah, somebody seeing an isolated, because yeah, that happens all. Dude, there's 100% like white people here that fucking.
Oh yeah, I mean it's funny because I told.
Dude, like Appalachian motherfuckers, like fucking, they literally up there probably fucking goats, and you know, like it's.
Yeah, because it's funny because I told my dad like, yeah, you hear about Trump the fucking like eating fucking cats and fucking shit, and they're saying like they're eating the ducks in the park, and my dad was like, yeah, I did that. What? Yeah, like, yeah, when I first moved to the U.S., like, yeah, I ate a couple ducks for the park. I was like, why? And they're like, well, shit, I was fucking hungry. Like, what the fuck? There's a duck right there.
And they're free. I didn't know you could. You might have told me, but like, I think I've heard it after that too. Like it just, now I hear it more often that you can just take ducks.
Yeah, which I think is wild. Like,
I thought they were protected in some way.
I thought so too.
Like I felt like if you saw somebody walking away from a park with a duck, that's illegal. like I don't.
Yeah, you think like government property or some shit. Like you can't just take a duck.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like killing a deer.
I guess so. Fucking.
I do think, but
dude.
But I will say the culture does not back that. If you go to the parks or eating a duck, people aren't like, hell yeah, brother. Like,
Yeah, no, they're like, what the fuck?
yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Correct, idiot.
Yeah.
This is random, but you brought up deer and shit. You remember that video that was like super viral a long time ago? Like, so you remember that Minecraft, that Minecon convention, or whatever the fuck, and there was like those like awkward kids like at the mic ask questions.
Yeah.
There's the one kid who's like dedicated wham.
Yeah.
But then there's the other girl who's like, will you join my dad's Minecraft server or whatever? Dude, do you see what she is now?
No.
I watched like an hour long, like this guy talking about her, like, so like she like disappeared for forever, like nobody, you know, like it was just that nobody's thinking about her even, you know. Well, she pops back up. She's a TikTok now, and she pops back up on this guy's TikTok live. They're doing like a dating thing, like you get on the live and you know fucking, and she's on there, and she's literally talking about how she thinks it's cool. Like she read this story of this guy who would like kill deer and like fuck them and shit like that, and she was saying she's like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, like if nobody sees it and like you're in the middle of nowhere and like this and that, and then the people in the live are like appalled. Like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, and she's like, what like fucking, and she goes on and on talking about like that, and she talks about she's like wouldn't it be so cool to like kill and fuck a deer and then having the head on the wall and being like just thinking about how you had your way with it, and you're like, yo, what the, and like just thinking back at that video, I'm like, I did not expect this information today, dude. Like fucking.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, like, I think it's a TikTok where some guy's like, so what do you do for a living? And this guy's like, I work the air gun in a slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, like, what's your favorite part of your job? Like, sing the light. Released from a living thing. Jesus Christ.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that shit's crazy. It's weird that there's just people out there, like, walking around and thinking like that. Like, that's what's wild.
I'm also curious, like, what takes you down that... I guess this is what we talked about before, like, I will say, like, you know, just, like, I don't know, I was discussing it recently, especially, like, porn and this and that, like, just, like, with access to everything, like, I joked about it today, like, having access to, like, unlimited information, and, like, that can be funny, but then also, like, it can really take you down some dark, fucking, insane, fucking holes.
Yeah, it can. I mean, like, if you see, like, Ted Bundy was like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have killed if I couldn't have watched hardcore porn. Like, like, hardcore porn, like that, it just wasn't doing it for me, so I had to go out and doing it real life.
Yeah.
But he was probably sick and would have done it anyways, honestly.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, so many people watch porn and they're not there fucking killing women, you know. But I had a thought that's like, porn made guys not want to pursue women.
Yes.
Right. And so then women, to be pursued by men, started mimicking porn.
Yes.
And then now it's the endless cycle. Where now women want to be more like the porn stars and be more promiscuous and more revealing in order to get males' attention. And I think that's why we're seeing such a huge boom in like OnlyFans and all this stuff. Which I even saw a post where like they were saying like there was like some hot chick from Home Depot or something, and she went viral for being hot or something. And then and everyone's like trying to convince her to do OnlyFans. But then she started getting harassed at work by dudes,
Yeah.
so she quit her job. And so like, but I bet that's kind of like a scheme to try to make her lose her income, so now OnlyFans seems more enticing,
Yeah.
you know? And it's really fucked up.
It is fucked. Yeah, because yeah, no, like I don't think there's anything like inherently wrong. Like I don't think porn should be banned or anything, but like I do think that there should be more awareness on how it can fucking.
Yeah, especially for like young boys. Like a young boy can watch more tits than a Roman emperor.
Yeah, I mean, like so, like back in the day, like porn has like existed for a long ass time, way more than the internet. But like it just was like you had to go put a fucking tape and be by yourself, this and that. Like I can literally, dude, I can look at porn while I'm driving around. like
You
it's
have to have equipment for that shit.
yeah, dude. I can look at anything. It's fucking yeah.
It is crazy. Like, yeah, dude, it's fucked up.
And then like yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it's just I feel like there is like I feel like there's never like a middle ground with it. I feel like there's full demonization of porn,
Yeah.
but then there's full acceptance of it, and I feel like there should be like a good like hey, porn is cool, but also like like I feel like a lot of people were not warned of because it's not looked at like drugs and other addictions are looked at, and I think it should be in a sense because like drugs, I have nothing wrong with drugs. I think people like I think there's a like I would be down to try some shit that like having full knowledge of it and knowing this could like destroy you, but like having the full knowledge and like doing it for the experience, like I think Dr. Drew talked about, like, if you ever watched his thing on the Midnight Gospel or whatever with Duncan Trussell on Netflix.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was on his he was just on his podcast. Yeah, it's all from his podcast.
Yeah.
But he was talking about like there's no such thing as a bad drug, just like bad intention with it, like you can definitely fall, but like the drug itself isn't. I think it's the same thing with porn. I don't think porn itself is bad, but like you were saying too, like I do think it, because I think it's the same thing with drugs. Like there's a lot of people who end up doing fucked up shit on drugs, but it's like people weed can literally send you into psychosis if you have fucking
schizophrenia and shit.
if you were already on route to doing shit like that, and so yeah, but I don't think porn has that awareness yet fully. To where we can like sit down and be like, hey, this is cool, but also just be safe with it,
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting there with drugs, where it's like drugs are cool, but like be safe, because like now like you'll see ads of people being like, here's a testing kit, here's a.
Oh yeah, I mean like I've done a lot of drugs now, but I made sure to do like a fuck ton of research before I did anything.
Yeah.
Like I have a bunch of books about drugs. I have the Drug User's Bible. It's actually right over there, and it has like a bunch of pages on drugs, what they do to you, the proper dosage, and all that stuff. I mean, the craziest drug I've done was heroin.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And that was fucking overrated, dude. Honestly, most drugs are fucking overrated. Like, because I've done cocaine, and people love cocaine, but to me, I just feel like I feel like they had to be done with a purpose. Like, and people do shrooms, and they just do them. I was like, I don't know. To me, I feel like it should have a purpose. Like I mean, weed is a little different. I smoke weed all the time.
Yeah.
But like with cocaine, I'm like, I have all this energy, and for what? Just to talk about bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I should be using this, but you can't like do cocaine and then go running, because that'll like fuck up your heart or something.
Yeah.
You can't even use the energy it gives you. It just stimulates your brain for like no reason. I guess you could probably do cocaine and maybe play Counter-Strike or something.
Yeah.
Shredding. But then at that point, you might as well take Adderall or something.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird. And like Charlie Wyndham, like he bought some DMT off me, and he just mixed that shit with weed and hits that out of a bong. Like, dude,
does that have an effect? Because does that work that way?
It does work, but like I feel like it's waste. Like that's a huge waste, because you could just smoke it out of like a crack pipe, basically.
Yeah.
You'll get the full effect of it.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like he was just trying to get like a bigger high, but I feel like DMT is one of those drugs where it's like you do it and you really feel like a change, like, or not. I want to say a change, but like you're like this could be significant if I let it. And I think with shrooms too, like if you take a lot of shrooms and you kind of reflect on your life, I think it could really change your perspective on life and change your outlook. But people like to take it for fun.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's gay, and I need a beer.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know what you mean by like feeling like the only ones I've only I've drank, I've smoked, but then I've also taken shrooms and acid, and I will say I have felt changes at times. Definitely coming away and like and changes in different senses depending on how the trip went.
Yeah.
I think the craziest one. I remember the first time I took acid. I remember afterwards almost feeling like I actually gave like some of a shit about like nature. Like I felt like before I would always be like, yeah, that's beautiful, but like, I could see why somebody's calling it beautiful, but never sit there and be like, wow, this is good. But like after acid, I almost understand. Like now I'll see a sunset, I'll be like, oh, that's just dope. But I feel like I didn't have. I feel like it almost did unlock something in my brain where I was like, oh, I can see it now, Like before, I'd be like, yeah, that is beautiful, I guess, but I didn't feel it. You know what I mean? I'm almost just saying it because it looks like, it looks cool. But I know exactly, it does switch something. I've never had one for the negative. It's always been positive, especially if you do let it go. You gotta let it go.
Yeah.
I feel like the worst happens when you are fighting it. Every time I've had a bad trip, the moment I let it go, then I start having a good time again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tougher more than other times, but
Yeah, because I remember I took acid, and that also felt like really like it didn't feel significant until afterwards. Like looking back on, it, I was like, wow, that was actually like a really kind of intense and interesting experience. And like, 'cause I did it in Providence Canyon, like it looks like the Grand Canyon, and I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted. Like I was going to the outlawed areas, like where it's like do not cross here, I would cross there, and then I remember like in Providence Canyon at the bottom of it there's like a stream or like kind of like a creek, and you kind of follow the creek, and so I just took my shoes off and walked barefoot and followed the water.
yeah.
And I remember I was laying on this big mound of sand while I was kind of peeking, and I was kind of looking up. It was kind of high up, so there's people walking below me. I was looking at the trees, the pine cones grow and shrink, and I was hearing people talk. And I heard people talk like, my socks are wet, and I was like, should have taken off your shoes, bitch. Like why you in the water? And then I would hear like a dad be like, he was like, get off Instagram, you're ruining hiking. I was like, why would you ever say that to your daughter? Like, she's ruining hiking? Like, how about you just enjoy hiking?
Yeah.
Like, and I felt like I was the only one living to what I felt like was my standards. Like I felt like because and I was just observing people, and I felt like they were all living for other people.
Yes.
I would see people go to the photogenic areas, take the picture, and just go walk right on back. Like they didn't even enjoy the hike or anything. They would just go take the picture and leave. And it was so weird to me seeing them do that. I was like, this is an amazing place. Like there's not many times you get to go to a place like this. That's like naturally beautiful and complex and like vast. And but they're more focused on the picture than the actual memory and the experience.
Yeah.
And I remember like, and then when I look back on it, I was like, yeah, I think I'm probably on the right track in some way, because I don't know. And everything was so goddamn funny, like everything's way too funny. I almost couldn't handle how funny shit was. Like I remember we were hiking and it was like JB carved into like all over the place, and I was like, holy shit, Joe Biden's been here. And we kept seeing JB like, dude, Joe Biden's been here. Like it was stupid. But it was a fun experience. And then whenever I did a K-hole on ketamine, that was like a really weird experience because like I had done it casually, like I'd done a few lines or whatever and gotten like fucked up. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go all the way. And so I did a bunch of lines of ketamine, and I just laid on my bed and I looked at my roof, and that was my perspective everywhere I traveled, because you kind of like travel. Like I remember there was one common place I was, which was like a red room. It's kind of a gold floral pattern on the walls, and pillars, but I could only see the room in the angle I was laying, and then I would be in this room, and then I would swirl into this like kaleidoscope kind of melted paint feeling, and I felt like I was just a raw energy, like all I was energy, and all I had was my thoughts, and then I'd be swirling around, and I'd be like arguing with ideas like what is it to be a real artist, what is it to be a genuine person, like And then I remember I snapped back, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "I gotta tell my crush I like her." She rejected me, and I was like, "Ah, fuck! I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let it be." But in the time, I was like it inspired me to man, I should probably strive for something or something. Because it's weird, because life generally feels meaningless as you live it day to day. It doesn't feel like there's much meaning. And,
I mean, it very much is in a sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you gotta try to find it. I
Yeah.
don't think drugs give you any kind of meaning or anything. I think it takes a certain type of person to have drugs help you in that sense. Because I've met a lot of people who do drugs, like they'll do DMT or something, or do ketamine, and they'll K-hole, they'll break through, and it doesn't change them in any way. It doesn't affect them or their outlook on life. And it's like, well, that's just a different kind of person, I suppose. Because I didn't break through on DMT when I did it. I started traveling through the tube, and I started feeling my body disappear. But then I shot back into my body before I went all the way into like the other world. Which I'm probably gonna do it at some point, but I want it to be like, I don't want to just do it like in here.
Yeah.
Like break through a DMT and come back and I'm in my fucking garage. I feel like that'd be weird. I feel like I want to do it. I think I want to go camping, and then I'm gonna break through on DMT there or something.
That'd be
I think I'll
sick.
feel more connected or something. I don't know, but and then like the next day I'm feeling weird, and it took me like 3 days to recover from the K-hole like fully, because like I did feel kind of mentally drained, and it was like crazy, like it was intense, and you do have to just like let go, because like, you keep fighting it, you kind of just feel that pressure, and it was really really interesting. And then I kind of understood how ketamine therapy probably works, because I just feel like I let go of all my inhibitions, and I stopped looking at things through all the filters I put on things. And that's also how I feel whenever I'm on acid or mushrooms. I feel like a more raw, genuine thought process with less filtered inhibitions
Yeah,
on it.
you're way in the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You just you exist. You have to exist now.
Yeah.
And then you go on your phone, and your phone doesn't even feel appealing anymore,
No.
because it just feels like a genuine waste of time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what am I doing? Like, this is what it feels like. It's like, what am I doing? I was like, what can I do to make life happen? You know, because it feels like, because whenever I was in acid in Providence Canyon, like it felt like everyone was living more in the digital world. Like they were more focused on the picture, or the, you're ruining hiking on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, how about you lead by example and show her how to live life instead of just telling people what to do?
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know, and that felt kind of profound to me. Like I felt like it felt profound, and I'm relieving outlook on life. Like, you know what, I need to stop giving a shit about the things that I actually don't give a shit about. Like, because I always, especially when I started being a comedian, and people were like, "Oh, this guy's a comedian," I always felt the need, like, I have to prove it now. I have to try to be funny. I have to try to make a quip. But now I don't even do that. I just let it happen naturally if it does. And but yeah, it was a really interesting experience.
No, that's sick. I need to trip again soon. I need to. I feel like I haven't done it in a minute, and I feel like there's a lot in my life now where I haven't had that experience along with it, I guess. I haven't tripped since I've been a comedian. I haven't tripped.
Yeah.
I haven't tripped since I've been in Auburn. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that could be unpacked there.
Yeah, it'll make
with
you
a
feel
trip.
weird. You'll even. I remember I was thinking of bits actually while I was tripping.
Yeah.
Like those like bits were coming into my head like left and right.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I was like, I should have written all of them down, because I feel like I was having so many, and everything is so funny, and like and that's also what made me realize something. Like the world is, it's endless how funny it is. Like everything is insanely funny. So it's like I'm not in the wrong business, because when I'm on acid or I'm on mushrooms, I just can't stop laughing, and so I just have to harness that energy and put it into something, because I think it's what comedians do. I don't know if we really make jokes. I think we discover jokes. I think they're discovered.
Yeah.
Like, because at least that's how it feels for me. Like, oh, I just discovered this. Like with the Hurricane Milton thing, I was like, oh shit, that could be a bit. Like, yeah, I think my dad's okay, but of course he's okay. He's in a different place, and
I feel like that's how, like, have you ever heard a comedian do a bit and you're like, damn, how did I not think of that?
yeah,
A lot of times, yeah, a lot of times I don't I don't think of it as like, yeah, why didn't I come up with that? A lot of times I'm like, that was right in front of my face. How did I not? How did I observe that first? You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, dude. There's this comic. It was such a funny ass fucking. He was talking about porn. But he's talking about it getting more intense. But he's talking about. He said, I remember I used to just look up butts.com, and I was like, when he said butts.com, I was like, that is so fucking good. God damn it.
I remember I went to boobs.com.
Boobs.
Dude, I probably got 14 viruses.
That's got to be a thing, boobs.com.
It is. I remember on the website, like the logo, it was like boobs.com, and their logo was like two tits made the O's.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's no other way.
Like, this shit goes hard.
Yeah.
My website right here. This is my kind of fucking website. I remember back then jacking off. You felt like proud. I used to feel like I was like, guess who jacked off today?
Dude, yeah, I had friends in school who would like, I remember one in particular who would just be like, yeah, he would just describe gooning. He was like, yeah, I watched porn for like an hour and a half yesterday. I was jacking off. It was awesome. Yeah. Like, yeah, what the fuck? Nowadays, if somebody tells you that, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's funny because now when I jack off, I feel nothing but shame. I feel horrible. But when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I just fucking jacked off, dude.
Wait, so that's interesting to me because like I talked to people about that before. I don't feel like I definitely have post nut clarity, obviously, but like I never have like I don't think I felt shame. I'm trying to think if I've ever actually felt shame for nutting. I definitely have the clarity where I think one of the biggest examples is like sometimes like one thing I have to do now. I think it's my friends were one time I left my friends at the bar. There's one friend I was with at Fat Daddy's, and he was talking to this girl, and he's like you can go home. I was waiting for him. He's like, you can go home. I'll probably go with her or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went home, and then I guess it didn't work out, and he ended up walking to my house, and he walked back to my room, and everything was unlocked, and he walked in, and I was jacking off. Dude, it was so funny. Like, I was turned away from him, and I was just drunk as fuck, and I turned over to see what it was, and I was like, oh, shit. And I, on top of the sheets and everything, dude, and then... But then I remember, like, he was like, what the fuck, why are you, like, jacking? And I was like, bro, it's my house. And I was like, you walked into my bedroom. But then, but like that's a common thing I do like after the bar because like so I don't like try to do some shit like shoot my shot with people because like afterwards I have the clarity of I don't feel that way anymore now I'm good I can just go to sleep.
I always jack off for any date I would have with a girl.
Okay, yeah.
I always felt like if you're horny, man, dude, being horny is the most dangerous thing you could be.
Yes.
You'll waste money.
Yes.
Do stupid shit. Like, so anytime I go on a date, I'd jack off beforehand. No. But yeah, dude, I don't know if actually shame is the right word. Maybe it's more so disgust.
Well, yeah, it's
I'd be like, damn, I can't believe I just fucking busted to that shit. Or I'd be like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I was here fucking squeezing my fucking penguin to this shit.
Excuse my I guess I have felt that. There has been times I've jacked off and I'm like, I could have been doing something besides this.
Yeah, I remember one time I was being off and I fucking busted some ugly bitch.
Some ugly bitch. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was like some older woman. She had like huge fake tits. Like, what the fuck? I was like, this shit wouldn't turn me on if I was not horny.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Like, well, yeah, shit's weird. Yeah, beating off and shit.
Beating off. Yeah, I guess I never felt shame, but I have definitely felt disappointment in myself where I'm like, dude, I could have been writing comedy. Like I say,
fucking LeBron would be shooting shots in the basket right now.
Yeah, I could be down the road at the fucking blacktop, dude. Fucking practicing layups.
Here I am fucking beating my shit crazy style.
I said I don't have enough time for the gym. I jacked off the third time.
Like a goon for 14 hours. Yeah, for me, I've noticed I almost always beat off if I'm just bored and have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like, which I hate. Cause that's what I've been trying to work on. Cause like when I first inherited this house, it's like an insane amount of work. And I would just let the work pile up, and I'd just be beating off in my room. And I'm like, yeah, there's a leak in the roof. Like, it's funny because as soon as they bust, I'm like, oh fuck, there's like a leak in the roof. Like, what am I doing? I'm fucking beating my shit.
I will say it definitely got worse too. Whenever I like moved out on my own, you know. Cause like it was more strategic back in the day. Cause like I lived with like 3 siblings and 2 parents in a trailer and shit.
Sure.
So like the moment I like became my own man, I had a house to myself. Yeah, like there'd be times like I think the day I'm worst at is definitely Sundays, cause I have nothing to do Sundays. Like there's normally no shows. I don't have work.
Yep.
I'm doing shit all the rest of the time. I normally, but like on Sundays, I'm just like, I guess this is what I'm doing all day. Fucking like I'll watch a movie, go jack off. I'll fucking go do something else. Fucking you know, and a lot of times I'm like, bro, but there's so many other. It's just so easy when I don't have a set plant, like a set mic to go to, a set job.
I've sat there like watching a YouTube documentary, like fuck that, I'm gonna beat off.
Yeah.
Like that shit sucks.
It's one of my top like things to go do. Like I said, if I don't have like a set plan to go somewhere else, you know what I mean? Like if I'm at home, which sucks because like there's a lot of like, you know, because I say it all the time. I should write jokes. I should write music. You know.
Yeah, I think that it's funny. That's what I'm scared of when I hit the road. It's like I think I'm just gonna beat off like 4 hours a day because like I'm gonna be on the road and I'm gonna have nothing to do all day.
Yeah.
I won't have a place to live. I mean, I have a place to live, but like I'll be living in my fucking car.
Yeah.
So, my plan is to just try to work out, I guess, because I'm gonna need a gym membership to shower. So I thought maybe I'll just work out, write jokes. But see, writing jokes is like, it's weird because it's hard to come up with new ideas. Like, because when I'm writing jokes, I'm not really making new ideas. I'm really fleshing out old ideas.
Yeah.
And like new ideas, I don't even know where they come from. They just fucking appear. And then I guess writing is just work on it.
Yeah, whenever I'm in a writing session, I don't come up with premises.
Yeah, almost never.
Writing sessions are always like, I thought of this funny idea the other day. Let me sit down and make it a thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, but to come up with the like to make yourself make an idea, I don't know if I've never been able to do it. Like I've always had to flesh out something old or something that just appeared.
The closest I've gotten to it is like when I wrote my 9/11 material last month when I was hosting it. I came up with like 3 9/11 bits.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there like, what's funny about 9/11? And that was easy. Like that was easy. But like if I'm trying to come up with something like original to me, besides coming like sit, because like I don't know, if I did a Halloween show, I could probably sit there and be like Halloween, you know. But like if I'm just trying to think of like something completely new that has nothing to do with like a subject like that.
What I do is I try to instill the seed of the idea.
Yeah.
And then hopefully later on in my life it'll just appear in my head because like I was like I need a bit for like Halloween, like because I had the same thing like Halloween, and then it kind of just popped into my head where it's like the main idea I have is like, because isn't Halloween like you dress up to like scare away the ghosts or something?
I think so.
But it's like, but wouldn't that make them feel more chill?
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm dressing up like a ghost to scare away ghosts. It doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't they be like, hey, this shit's tight?
Yeah.
We're fucking ghosts. And then also, then why wouldn't it be Mario? I mean, how the fuck is that gonna scare a ghost? Hey, this fucking Mario, this shit's chill as fuck. And then I thought of like a bit about like No Nut November and how like they're setting you up to fail because like Halloween is the last day of October and all the hottest bitches are posting their fucking thirst traps.
What I'm saying.
All right, now try not to nut for a month. That's got to be like a game show or something.
Yeah, I never done No Nut November. I did add it to my sober April this year though.
To not nut?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say I actually don't beat off as much now that I'm in a relationship. I will say that does kind of help.
Oh yeah.
Because I think sex is not as bad as beating off. Because when you're beating off,
Oh, no.
you're looking at fucking orphans probably. They're all probably orphans.
Yeah, it's not even like the act of beating. It's like you're saying, like you're just kind of like staring at a. It's almost the same thing as like even if you take beating off out of the equation, it's almost like just like doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Like you're just staring at porn, but you could also do it in a non-sexual way. You could just doom scroll TikTok all day, and it's almost just as fucking like just also fucking up your perception of the world, and like destroying your
and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I feel like a relationship helps. Like one, I mean, there's the one obvious one because we're like having sex, but also like I feel like you definitely also like when I was talking about Sundays, like I'm not in a relationship, so like a lot of times I'm just home alone and like
beat off time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but if I had a girlfriend, even if we weren't like having sex or something, like I'd probably go do something cute and gay with my girlfriend, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like with Emmy, we just play games all day, basically. Like,
yeah.
Play video games together, and like, but it's weird playing video games by yourself feels like also kind of feels like doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm playing games with my girlfriend, it's like, oh well, we're like spending quality time.
Yeah.
We're like learning how to work together and shit. Uh, yeah, it's really weird. But god damn.
Yeah, playing video games by yourself almost feels like a hamster wheel.
It's like beating off in a hamster wheel. Yeah, yeah, that shit sucks. Yeah, cause I was single for a long time. I was single for like 4 years. I had like, I would like hook up with people a little bit, but also that felt like weird, and that would like get me in trouble, too, a little bit. Like just hooking up with people.
Yeah.
Like that's why I stopped doing it. Cause I was like, this actually sucks. Cause I hooked up with a girl from Tinder, and which that was like a fucking nightmare. I have kind of a bit about it, cause like we were smoking weed and stuff, and I'd never had smoked weed and had sex.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is fucking weird. And like her family was home,
Uh,
and her door didn't have a doorknob,
uh,
and so I was like, but I was in horny brain, you know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't give a shit about anything, and I was like, fuck. And we were watching Spirited Away. I'd never seen it, and I was like, this actually movie is fucking tight as fuck.
yeah.
It's actually a dope movie. But then I guess she had seen it 400 times, and so I guess she wanted to start banging, and so we started banging. And I'm like turning around and looking at the movie, while I'm hitting it from the back, and then I'm looking at the fucking doorknob, making sure like no one's walking by.
Yeah.
And dude, I was like scared the entire time. And I in my bit, I'm like, that shit was like a bop it. I was like, fuck it, watch it, check it, because I was going through it was super mechanical. Like I was not natural in any way.
No.
All the thrusts were manual. And I was like turning around and watching the movie to see what's happening. Then I busted in like 15 minutes, and I was like, probably even less than that, and I was like, I gotta go home. And then I found out that like she actually knew one of my friends, and they like were dating or something, or they dated for a while, and they had only broken up for like a month or something, and he got super pissed at me, and we started like arguing, and she was like, dude, I didn't even know she knew you,
Yeah.
you know. And then his dad died, and then I felt super bad. Like, damn, he thinks I fucked his bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking dad died. Yeah, I'm never hooking up again. That shit has unforeseen circumstance. Like, you just can't see what'll happen. Because I feel like so many people think you could just hook up with people, and then that's it. But it always becomes complex, in my experience. Like, it always becomes weird. Like, either one person, starts catching feelings or something, or you guys know mutual people, so that's weird. And so I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm just gonna get a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think I'm way too nice to hook up a lot of times. Like, I never told you about that one time I pulled up to that girl's house with Blue Chew and didn't use it. I was just polite the whole time. We watched like 3 episodes of Bob's Burgers and I left.
Yeah, it's funny because I had the same thing. Like, I've been lucky to have like aggressive women.
Oh, yeah.
Because like almost all my hookups is because the girl initiated.
That's me. Every time I've had anything happen. Yeah.
Because I'm just too. I don't want to come off as some kind of fucking rapist or something.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I've been lucky to like almost every circumstances because the lady initiated. I remember like my first paid gig, I was like there was like a 50-year-old lady, and I was like making out with her and shit. I thought she was hot. She was like some old redheaded bitch.
Fuck yeah.
And I think she was married or something.
Oh damn. Okay.
Because I was like, I'm probably gonna bang this bitch. But then like towards the end, she was like, actually, nah, I gotta go home. And I was like, ah, fuck. She probably came to her senses already.
I'm gonna bang this bitch. Dude, after your first paid show, making out with a 50-year-old, that's awesome.
Yeah, some biker wanted to fucking butt fuck me to death. No. Yeah, that night was crazy. That was a crazy night. I got fucking hammered. Like, I got really drunk that night, too. That's why I was being so crazy. That's why I can't be drinking and shit, because, like, yeah, this bitch I was making out, I was fucking grabbing her fucking wrinkly boob and shit. That shit.
Dude, yeah, they got pulled up on me at the gas station. That made me think about, I was pumping my gas. I went to the gas station on the way here, and like I said, like I had to like click a button to like see if they'd like accepted me into the gas station. And I go in, and I give a guy like $1 25 as I'm leaving, and then I go to the pump, and this guy like pulls up like really aggressive to the pump next to me, I'm like looking forward, but the other side of the pump, and he's like, hey, I like your hair, and I was like, thank you. And then he was like, you like rap music? And I was like, I don't know why I said this. I was like, yeah, I also make it. and then he's like, really? He's like, what's your Instagram? And I walked over and gave my Instagram, whatever the fuck. And he was like, he like opened his door. He's like leaning out, and he's like, yeah. So what are you doing tonight? And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, I had no problem with it, but I was like, this is mad. Like, guys are insane.
Oh yeah.
Because like that's like I definitely felt like what women feel. I was like, oh my god, I'm so uneasy right now.
I felt that a lot in high school because when I was in high school, there was a lot of gay dudes.
Yeah.
But they were like aggressively gay dudes.
Yes.
I got fucking molested in high school by a dude. Like I remember I was in construction class. I had to change a light bulb, so I had to stand on the table.
Yeah.
And this big gay dude came up and he was like, "I'll help you out," and he lifted me up. And when he lifted me, he fucking grabbed my dick and balls and like fondled them. And then he sent me back down, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" He fucking grabbed a handful of Charlie Chode and fucking walked off like it was nothing. But he was huge. Like, he was like a big guy. So I was like, I'm not even gonna say anything. Like, this guy rape me. He pinned me down in front of the class and just end this shit.
That's where the butt fuck bit came from, dude. Fucking.
Yeah.
That's where that fear stemmed from.
Yeah, and then that guy was bad. He'd always want to try to hug me and shit. I'd be like, yeah. So I knew how girls felt. Like, all these like, where my hug at type dudes.
Yeah.
And all that. Like, goddamn, that shit. Yeah, that shit sucks. I would hate to be a lady. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about earlier. Like, I can't believe women like dudes.
Yeah, no idea why, how. I think it's very reasonable that we're seeing a lot of like women fucking other women.
Yeah.
It's so much more safe. It's so much more.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this idea of like, what if women were bigger and stronger than men? And then I was thinking, that'd actually probably be worse. That might be like doomsday scenario, if women were the apex predators.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like women are actually a lot more aggressive and violent than men are. They just can't be. You know, because generally guys are stronger. But because whenever I see women get angry, I feel like they're more explosive than guys are.
Yeah.
Some of them, at least. I mean, I've seen explosive guys too. Like, now imagine if she was fucking 6'5" and swole.
Yeah.
I feel like they would definitely do more of like the primitive shit where like, fuck you, bitch. You know, I feel like that shit would be chaos.
No, I agree. Yeah, I've definitely met a lot of women to where like something happened and I'm willing to let it go. I'm like, oh, it's whatever, and they're like, nah, fuck that, and I'm like, oh, well, fuck, you know, like.
Yeah, I know. And now imagine.
And like you're saying, it's like I'm gonna have to be the one to be the like I have to bear this. You know what I mean? Like, like I'm the guy here. I have to fucking. It's like shit.
Now
dude.
imagine she was the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's scary.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's already the case for guys. Like, because there are guys like that. They're like,
oh, yeah.
If I can't have you, no one can. You know what I mean? And she's like, there's a stalker in my bushes. And he's like, stalker? I've been in your bushes for weeks. I've seen a stalker in here.
Yeah, dude.
God damn. Man, we should probably wrap it up. We've been going 2 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's the longest pod I've ever been on.
Time flies when we're being off.
Yeah.
It does. Time flies. Time fly.
Time flies when you're.
Does time fly?
Time flies when you're full of cum.